Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today we are answering your YouTube questions. And when I say we, I mean myself and my brother from the same mother, D. D, what is going on?
Glad to be back. Missed you last week.
Yeah, missed you last week as well. I mean, not like I didn't see you, right? We were hanging out on Saturday, it's just we didn't stream, but yeah.
We have important news.
We do.
We have important news regarding YouTube and taxes and something that you need to pay attention to.
Yep.
You want to cover this because this is important for everybody just joining in.
Absolutely.
Pay attention, people.
Yep. So we're going to talk about YouTube-related news that is important to you as a content creator. But first, before we do that, I do want to let you know that this stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, which is a tool that will help you optimize your videos for discovery, help you test the thumbnails that you're making to make sure that you're getting them in front of the right people on the right surfaces or the right pages of YouTube. They also have a bunch of different workflow tools. They're also working on a bunch of stuff as well, so they're going to be having some new stuff coming out soon that we're all excited about. So make sure that you give TubeBuddy a shot at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin so you can see what TubeBuddy can do for you and just how it can help you. In addition to that, this stream is co-brought to you by StreamYard, which is the live streaming platform that we use to stream this every Saturday. The reason that we use it is it's super easy. They have dark mode now, which is awesome, but they make it easy to bring guests on, and they make it easy to add graphics to the screen and all of that, just like you see us do, you know, every Saturday here on the live stream. But you can try out StreamYard for yourself at StreamYard.com or go to nicknimmin.com/StreamYard, and you can see what you can do there.
Track them clicks.
Well, track them clicks. We got to get those clicks tracked for sure. Now, another thing that I do want to mention as well, if you are new here and you haven't heard me talk about it yet, I do have a free iOS app that I put out for content creators to help you manage repetitive comments and share links that you share on a regular basis and things like that. I have that pinned at the very top of the chat right now, so you can check that out as well. It's called Creator Keyboard. If you're listening to this just in the audio format while you're at work or something like that, if you happen to the App Store and you just look for Creator Keyboard, it'll be the first one to pop up, and definitely make sure you check it out because it'll help you a ton when it comes to answering repetitive comments. Now, with those things out of the way, let's talk about the YouTube news. Unless you had something else.
No, I was just going to say we need to talk about YouTube taxes because even if you're not in the United States, you still have to pay attention to a form that you got to fill out for YouTube. Or YouTube can hold what percent?
24%.
Up to 24% of your earnings on YouTube if you are monetized if you botch this. So do not ignore it. Make sure you fill it out correctly. And it applies to everyone in here if you are monetized. So listen up if you are monetized.
So basically, YouTube has an update that before December 10th, if you are, even if you're not based in the US, that you have to update your tax records that are on file with your AdSense account. So I'm going to, I should have just put this in the video description. That would have made it easier. But for now, just bookmark this. I'm going to go ahead and drop it into the chat right now. So just make sure that you bookmark that. But the whole thing with that is basically you just have to update your tax information. And the reason that it matters if you are in the States or if you are not is because YouTube is a US-based company. Therefore, they have to follow these rules. So because of that, make sure that you do get your tax information updated. And with this, the whole idea based on the video that I watched on this from Creator Insider, which is a channel that you guys should all be subscribed to. It's where YouTube employees share YouTube-related information. But basically, that particular video mentioned that they expire. So whatever it is that they're doing, they expire in some way.
That's crazy.
It is. And all you have to do, if you do already have all this submitted, is you can just go in and just resubmit it. So it's not going to be anything that's difficult or anything that you have to figure out or anything like that. If you are already in the partner program, you've already given this information, as long as nothing has changed, then you can just go in there and resubmit what it is that you already have. But let's say that you're an individual creator and then you moved in, but now you have a company. Well, in that particular case, then you might want to change it over to your company information now that you're having to go in and update that information anyway. But again, I put a link to that right here in the chat, so make sure that you do bookmark that, or that you just come back to the stream and grab it later, whatever, so that you can make sure that you are compliant there. We also have some additional YouTube news. So if you're in the live stream last week, you saw where we were talking about, Doug actually brought it to my attention, Doug Houston, YT, is in the chat right now. But YouTube now has it to where previously, and this is again for monetized creators, previously if you wanted to decide what ads were put in front of your videos, or you wanted to block certain companies from being able to put ads on your videos, or you wanted to block certain categories of ads from showing on your videos, you had to go into your AdSense account in order to do that. Now, they have the feature inside of your YouTube settings directly on your channel in your Creator Studio, so you can go in there and you can do those things there. Now, what's the use case for this? So the use case is that, let's say that you don't want political content, because we're in that heated, next couple of weeks here. Let's say you don't want any political content showing on your channel. You will take an ad revenue hit if they are advertising aggressively on your YouTube channel, but if you don't want your viewers to see that or be bothered by it, then you can go in and block that. If you don't like religious content or content that highlights alcohol and things like that, you can go in and you can block all of these different categories. But other things that you can do with this is, let's say that you have let's say you promote something as an affiliate. If you promote something as an affiliate, then in that particular case, you should put those advertising URLs inside of this area as well. And that will help prevent you from being caught up in like a keyword targeting campaign, to where that company is going to show up when they're getting ready to watch your video on that thing, which could end up costing you affiliate sales. Another place where you would want to possibly use this is, let's say that you do have a company and you have people that come in your comments from time to time, or not, let's not even go there. Because that's a different setting, actually. It's the blocked words list. But let's say that you have a company and you're putting all this revenue into having people make content for your channel. Well, in that particular case, you also want to use this particular feature once you're in the partner program and it activates, so that you can't have you spending all this money to have content made for your channel, and then your competitor just comes in and runs ads on all your videos. So it prevents those sorts of things as well.
And that happens.
Oh, yeah, it happens.
Absolutely happens.
It's actually a smart move. Like, if you have a competitor and they're, they're spending all this money to have all this stuff done, you can just spend ad money to, get in front of their audience that they're trying to build. So yeah, it's definitely something that you, want to consider, if you are a company, and other things too. If you wanted to take this route, other things that I offer, like if I'm doing a brand deal, for example, one of the things that I'll offer as part of that is I will, as long as they give me a list, right? As long as they give me a list and they say, these are the competitors and these are the URLs, one of the things that I offer is that I will block those competitor URLs from advertising as well, because it's along the same lines, right? So for example, like, let's say I'm doing my sponsorship with, Opus Clip. In that particular case, if they have a competitor, I don't want that competitor to be able to advertise on my videos about Opus Clip. So because of that, I just block them entirely, so that way they can't advertise on my videos. So you can also do that sort of thing as part of an upsell, or just as part of what it is that you offer when you are working with brands, for those of you that are doing that. So, hey, Official Tim Tech, send me another message on Twitter. DMs, of course. Send me a DM on Twitter, and I'll try to help you there. Maybe I'll have to do like a screen recording or something to get you in there. But yeah, so make sure that you are knowledgeable of the ad thing, and that you're at least going in there looking at it, thinking about how you might use it, or if you even need to use it at all. Because a lot of people don't even need to use any of those blocking features or anything like that. But if you are somebody that is considering, working with brands or, anything like that, or you're promoting something as an affiliate, definitely at least go in there and take a look at it, because it is something that, can help you out there. In terms of shorts, there's some updates around YouTube Shorts as well. YouTube mentioned that the full rollout of long shorts, because we're all kind of on standby, right? We're like, hey, when are these 3-minute shorts going to be going out? So, so some of those are going out already, just so you know, but they say the full rollout. So when this should be in full effect, it should be rolled out by the end of November. So we still have some time on it, in terms of, it being to where you publish a video and then it goes, directly into there. Also, when it comes to notifications, they mentioned that subscribers are going to get notified if you post longer shorts, because I guess that's a question that a lot of people have right now. Are subscribers going to get notified of these longer shorts just like they do with longer videos? So as a part of this, subscribers will get notified if you post a longer short, whereas currently they don't get notified when you post a regular short, as long as they have all notifications turned on. YouTube will send out that notification, and they also, remember, this is an important part of people turning on notifications, they have to be able to receive the notifications as well on whatever device it is that they're watching on. So because of that, that is something that that they are rolling out as well. And let's see here. So in addition to that, you can also add poll stickers as part of the shorts stuff that they're working on. You're going to be able to do that soon.
Tell us about a poll sticker.
Yeah, so a poll sticker is basically to where when you're uploading your short, you are going to be able to ask your viewers a question. So like, let's say, Yeah, a poll.
Okay.
Yeah, so like let's say for example, you were like, hey, do you have in my case, hey, do you have over 1,000 subscribers or under 1,000 subscribers? Might be a poll, and then in that particular case, people can engage right there in your short, and then you can see all the stats, related to how people engage there. The cool thing about that, in my opinion, as they start rolling this out, just some kind of food for thought, is this might be a way to keep people on your shorts a little bit longer because it gives them those extra moments to engage if the poll that you have is something that would be relevant to those viewers that are interacting with your content. So that in addition to, of course, providing good content in the shorts, you might also be able to use that as a way to like, hey, let's just keep people engaged here, and just kind of pull their attention into that for just a little bit. Okay, I got you, Tim. Let's see here. So, and also the real-time view stats. So in our Creator Studio, we used to just have all of our real-time view stats grouped together, and we still have that. But you can also sort now by content type. So let's say you want to say like, okay, what are my real-time on the shorts? What are those generating? What's the real-time just on videos? What's the real-time just on my live streams? You can go in there and you can look at that information specifically around the specific content type on your channel as well, which is pretty cool. And I think that's a great feature by myself, personally. Just because you can go in there and just kind of keep track on like what's driving the channel right now based on those real-time stats at a glance. So then that way you don't have to spend tons of time digging around and trying to figure things out, which I think is great. But yeah, in terms of the news, that's the news, D.
All right. That was more news than I was expecting.
Yeah. 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 Well, we definitely got some news though.
Yeah.
Right.
The tax thing. I just looked inside of Studio while you were talking to see if I got any sort of a pop up or anything. They haven't notified me of anything yet. So keep an eye out for those notifications. And if you don't see,
just be proactive. Don't wait for the notification. Grab that link that I dropped into the chat earlier and go do it. Just go do it. And then that way you get it out of the way. You don't have to think about it anymore. Especially if you're already a monetized content creator.
Yeah. Boy, I bet they're going to get a lot of people on that one.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't see a notification.
And I'm not sure.
We'll take that extra 24%. We'll take that 24%. Thank you.
Yep. Hey, Neil, what's going on, dude? Hope you're doing awesome. But like, I also don't know, because that 24% doesn't necessarily go to YouTube. It's just like a withholding that they're doing for the sake of, giving it back or giving it to the IRS or whatever to be compliant. But I'm not really sure how that works. So if you don't do it by December 10th,
that's even crazier.
Right. So if you don't do it by December 10th, then let's say the revenue that you generated from December 10th to January 10th, if you're like, oh, on January 10th, you're like, oh, I didn't even know that happened, and then you go and do it. Right. I'm not sure like a time length in terms of how long it comes back or exactly what happens there. But I think that's definitely, I think that's interesting. Or if they just pass that on directly with it all just being, completely out of your control. Do they do it monthly? Do they do it quarterly? Where can you recover it in order to do it yourself?
I'm just picking a country at random here. Imagine you live in you're in India. You're a creator in India, you're monetized, you do okay, but you don't stay up on YouTube News, you don't miss whatever notification, and then all of a sudden YouTube is taking 24% and giving it to the IRS.
You see stuff like this on Reddit sometimes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand they got to do what they got to do, but that's absolutely crazy that can even happen.
Yeah.
Right?
It is.
So pay attention.
Yep. So
that's just insane. And then where does the money go?
Right.
There's a bigger question.
Yeah, right.
You're in
Once
India.
the IRS
YouTube takes the 24%. They give it to the IRS, and then where does your money go?
Right.
What are they doing with your money?
Right.
Are they feeding people with it?
Sending people like me to Armenia.
Are they sending? Yeah. Tell that story really quick.
Yeah.
Just hold on. Just tell them how you got paid by the U.S. government to go to Armenia to do a YouTube school.
So I went to Armenia 2 years in a row. It was an amazing experience. I absolutely loved it. The people were amazing. They took really good care of me over there. Like it was just a great experience. Like one of those memorable things that you'll just always, kind of hold on to. It was amazing. But it was funny because the whole thing was, I found out, I didn't know this, initially. I still would have done it. It wouldn't have changed anything. But I found out that the whole thing was funded by the U.S. government. So basically, the U.S. government gives them money to this, to this media group and a bunch of other things too. But then they use that money to bring people in order to, kind of train up their young people on social media and a bunch of other things as well. So I came in on the social media side, and basically they paid me in an envelope of cash. Which is pretty interesting.
Cash.
I thought, yeah.
So
both times.
I just want to add some perspective. So Jerry says you'll get it back if you file a file.
Yeah.
Hold on, if you file a federal tax return.
Yeah.
But so, okay, imagine this. Just flip the tables. You're our creator, our make-believe creator in India. Mm-hmm. But you're going to file you don't file a federal tax return.
Right.
So you're going to have to finagle the system to figure out how to get your money back as someone who lives abroad.
Right.
I mean, that's as crazy as
Yeah, I'm
those
not
of
sure
you in
how
the
that
U.S.
works. Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you'll get your 24%. Just file your tax return with India. Mm-hmm. What?
No. Right.
What?
Right.
What?
So Build and Fix with Mooney. Oh, by the way, also, if you're a new content creator or not even a new content creator, but let's say that this is your first time here and you're like, what the heck is going on? What are these dudes even talking about? So
we don't even know.
Yeah, we don't know. We're just kind of spitballing right now. So welcome to Niven Live. No, basically, what we're doing is we're answering YouTube-related questions. So the whole thing with us, being here is one, so we can hang out, but two, also so that we can answer any questions that you have around, YouTube, what it is that you're doing on YouTube, because there's a lot of moving parts to this. There's a lot of nuance. Even though I've got a channel with over, I believe, like 600 videos on it, sometimes there's just nuance that, needs to be, kind of worked out. And sometimes, I'm assuming that you probably haven't watched all 600 videos and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of questions that come along with this. So if you have anything that you want to know about YouTube or what it is that you're doing, anything like that, now is the time to ask that question because, I've been on YouTube for 10 years. D, you've been on YouTube now for what, 6?
A while.
I think, 6 or 7, something like that.
Not as long as you have.
Yeah, so it's been a while though.
It's been a while.
Combined, that's all. It's a lot of experience. So if you do have a question, we have a form that is down in the description. It's 100% free. You don't have to super chat anything like that. I mean, you can if you want to.
You can jump the line.
Yeah,
you can jump the line.
Right, but it's free. So if you do have a question that you want asked or that you want an answer to, or you just want to get somebody's thought on an idea that you have or something like that, feel free to drop it into that form. It is down in the description of this live stream right now.
So Beaver Zero brought up because Nick was called a terrorist on X.
Oh, did he mention that?
He brought it up. He said, "Hey, my favorite YouTube terrorist is online," and I just want to put a public thing out there in case there's any baristas or anybody from Starbucks watching. So we're going to talk about what a true terrorist is. Oh. We order coffee before we come in here to get a little pickup, and I get a grande latte. Mm. I got to think in English because I order it in Thai. It's not nom. It's milk, non-fat milk. Mm. It's non-fat milk, and I get an extra shot. A normal human being would give you a bag with a iced latte with a cup on it.
I thought the same thing, Jerry.
With a straw. With a straw. So today's terrorist here in Thailand, they didn't give me a straw.
Yeah.
And their sippy cups, also designed by a terrorist organization, which I will not name.
Yeah. Jerry's like, this stream is officially in restricted mode now.
Yeah,
I think so.
Thanks,
Beaver Zero.
This sippy cup is terrible. When you go to drink it, it like the liquid goes all over the place. So if you hear me making crazy slurping ice, schwarkling,
that's pretty much how he communicates. So,
that's
so it's
me
just going to be normal.
That's me trying to consume my beverage.
Yeah.
Prepared by a terrorist today.
That's D trying to give a YouTube tip. If you hear that, if you hear those noises.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is before you drive away, before you walk out of your cafe of choice, check the bag,
grab
make sure you have a straw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or as we learned today.
You should have added that to the news section, right? Like alert.
Alert.
Make sure if you're leaving Starbucks, you've got a straw if you have a nice drink.
Have straws at home.
Oh.
We don't have straws in the studio.
Yeah.
That out of the way, do we have questions?
We do have questions, D.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, we're ready to rock and roll here on the questions. So the very first question is from Build and Fix with Mooney. They upload 1 time per week or more. They do DIY content. The goal of the channel is to share and to teach. The question is, hey, Nick, I finally took all my data and tons of your advice and made myself super vulnerable with my life story that I uploaded this morning. My best impression of Sam Selleck. I tried to get you to stop me, Nick, but because of having second thoughts of uploading, I started getting a little bit nervous, not sure why. Thoughts on really connecting with your audience, like I believe that I just did with this video, watch it flop, I hope not. So I think, connecting with your audience and, being, just sharing parts of yourself, I think is great because, it's just one of those things that, we're all people. Everybody knows that everybody, is just, everybody's another person and everybody has, all these different life experiences that we have. So I think just getting, insights on your personal life experience for the people that are most engaged in what it is that you're doing, I definitely think that there's, value in that. So know, as long as it's relevant in some way to what it is that you do, then in that particular case, you know, I think it's a great fit. But if you're, you know, doing stuff that isn't really related to what it is that you offer, then in that particular case, you know, I would definitely recommend focusing more on giving your viewers more of what it is that they come to you for. But mixing that stuff into it is a great way to just show, you know, the human side, because, you know, when we're watching people on the internet, you know, we see them on the internet and we're watching them on the internet, but they're just this person on the internet, right? When you start sharing some of those things, then they get to know you a little bit, and then it starts to create more of a relationship there, and people get to know, you know, details. So for example, like when I go to conferences and things like that, like, you know, people will talk about things that Dee and I will say during this live stream, and it's cool. Like it's a smidge awkward, but it's awesome at the same time. So it's a smidge awkward because, you know, like if I don't know that person yet, and then they have all of this information on me, then it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like, oh, okay. But on the awesome side though, is that it kind of gives you like a starting point in the conversation, and then you can kind of, you know, go from there, which is cool. But you know, sharing those little, you know, things about yourself, I think is a good move in terms of just, you know, humanizing yourself more, because, you know, when it comes to just a random viewer running across your content, you are just another person on the internet. And when you do start adding those type of things, then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, this person has, you know, similar problems that I do. They have similar, you know, things that they're dealing with, and, you know, they're a, you know, person living their lives type of thing.
Adding the human element.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I would, and again, you do what you want to do, but I always feel like if you're putting yourself out there in social media in that way, I would keep some in the tank. I don't think I wouldn't put everything out there.
Yeah. Some people do.
Some people do. Yeah. Or we think they do.
Yeah.
They've given the illusion that they do.
Yeah. Just because some of the things that are shared are kind of like, whoa,
yeah,
outside of like your own comfort zone,
like, you're putting that out there. What are you holding back?
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think the internet, for as amazing as it is, there's some weird people out there in the internet too. Mm-hmm. So there's certain things that I would do just to protect your privacy, protect your family's privacy, protect your parents, protect your children, protect your husband or wife, or your significant other.
Yep.
Just there's some weirdos out there.
Yep. Brian G. Johnson in the house.
Speaking of.
Yep. Brian G. Johnson in the house. I think Dee just called you a weirdo. I'm not 100% sure what just happened there. But Brian G. Johnson in the house, author of Tube Ritual Volume 1. I'm going to link to this down in the description. If you just go to Amazon, you look for Tube Ritual, it'll pop up.
Protect the poodles. That's right, Brian.
Protect poodles at all costs. This will help you jumpstart your journey to 5,000 subscribers and more. So make sure that you check that out, and check out Brian G. Johnson's channel as well, especially if you are an older content creator. So next up, we've got Stitch is Gonna Stitch. Love that. That's like the best channel name on YouTube, I think.
Stitch is Gonna Stitch.
Yep. Let's see here. They upload one time per week or more. Been on YouTube for less than 6 months. The type of channel is crochet, knitting, stitching, crafts. The goal of the channel is to grow an awesome community and do YouTube full-time someday. And the question is, I've had shorts popping off lately, especially since I figured out what seems to work best for shorts. I've even gotten a decent number of subscribers from one of them, around 70 last time that I checked. Nice work. I use the related video feature on every single short and occasionally switch the related video out of the short if the short is still performing. I am just not seeing much conversion to long-form views right now. Are there any tips, or is it possible that audience will eventually trickle over when they keep seeing my face pop up? I started posting regularly in late August. Okay, so when it comes to converting people from shorts over into long form content, people do convert. But one thing that you have to think about is when it comes to vertical content, when it just shows up in somebody's feed and, you know, they're like, oh, hey, this is a quick, you know, 60 seconds with this person or 45 seconds with this person. In that particular situation, your shorts are showing up in front of a bunch of people that probably aren't the best qualified to be interacting with your content in the first place. So because of that, right out of the gate, you're disqualifying a decent amount of those people from being like, oh, hey, this is amazing. Let me go see what else it is that they have, right? But in addition to that, they also have to be wowed that much in order from what it is that you've published in order to say, wow, that was amazing. Let me see what else this person has, and then go and explore you from there, right? Also, keep in mind that everybody that's interacting with the short shelf, we as content creators know about the related video feature, but everybody that's interacting with your content might not even know that that related video option is there. They might just be watching videos, hitting like buttons and comments and things like that. They might not even be looking in that particular area. So because of that, I wouldn't necessarily think about shorts as I need to convert X amount of people from shorts over into the long form content. Instead, I would think I've got some viewers that I'm serving my long form content to, and those viewers are people that like to watch long form content on whatever device it is that they're on. And then I've got people that I'm also reaching in the shorts feed. And out of the people that I'm reaching in the shorts feed, I'm going to give them good content there as well. But for the people that are most engaged in what it is that I'm doing, the people that get the most value from what it is that I'm doing, those people are going to be the ones that are going to say, this is really cool. Let me check out and see what else they have. And then those are going to be the people that convert over. So because of that, don't think about it necessarily like it's an apples to apples thing. Think about it like, okay, when it comes to shorts, for the people that are going to convert, I'm thinking of it from like a scale perspective. So I need to get my videos in front of tons of people in order to get a small amount of those people to convert over from the related video feature. Shark Scrapper says, people to convert, it sounds like almost a religious experience. Oh, it's great. So next up on the list here, we've got question number 3, D, if you're keeping track.
I'm not looking at the thing.
Okay. Says it's trying to learn bikes. They upload 1 time per week or more. The type of channel is motorcycle maintenance.
You know, they're in here every single week asking questions. You would think that by now they would learn how to ride the bike.
Right. Well, they're trying to learn. Yeah, trying to learn bikes.
Listen, man, it's time to just ride it.
Ride that bike.
Just ride it. Quit asking questions. Get on it and start. Just ride it.
Yeah, love it. And appreciate you being here all the time too, by the way.
I'd rather see you out there riding the bike, to be honest. Out there and doing the thing.
You've been trying, right? Yeah, trying to ride that bike.
Back in, like, listen, man, I tried all week. Couldn't make it happen. I'm back. It's Saturday. I'm back with another question.
But they do motorcycle maintenance content. The goal of the channel says I create and upload videos for the enjoyment of the process. And the question is, can I upload one of my playlists to YouTube, title it for search, and give it a custom thumbnail? I don't see this being done much other than recently when I noticed Daniel Battelle showed up on my homepage with just a post. I was wondering if this is something only elite creators have access to. I'm going to send him a message to let him know he's elite. Now.
Don't let that go to his head.
Love that. Yeah. Don't tell Daniel that. Everybody keep that quiet. Do not mention to Daniel that that he's elite there. He says thanks very much. I keep on trying.
There you go.
But let's see here. So he says, I was wondering if this is something that elite creators have access to, or is there a small gray circle check mark beside his name that seems reserved for top players in the YouTube world? So the small gray check mark is for channels over 100,000 subscribers. So once you cross 100,000 subscribers, that's where you qualify for that check mark. But not sure if this is a common thing that a lot of creators do and not just paying attention. Hopefully this isn't a stupid question. I don't want to waste everybody's time. Thanks in advance for your excellent advice. So any question is never a stupid question because you're trying to, figure something out. So no questions are ever stupid. So when it comes to the posts showing up, in that particular case, community posts do show up. So YouTube does show community posts on home pages. They show them in like mobile feeds, things like that. So you will see, community posts show up in different places on YouTube. When it comes to playlists, you can add a thumbnail to playlist or select a thumbnail for playlist. So, you can do that as well. And same exact thing for a playlist in terms of, optimizing that playlist for search. You can do that as well. But keep in mind, when it comes to playlist and search, you do want to make sure that what it is that you're offering does make sense for search. So like, for example, if you had a music channel, then in that particular case, putting together like a big playlist of, a certain type of music so that people that are looking for that music could actually enter that playlist and then complete that playlist or listen to a bunch of songs in that playlist is probably going to do okay as long as that keeps happening, because YouTube's going to say when people enter this playlist, they stay on the platform for X amount of time on average. And then that's going to be, a win there. However, if you have a playlist, but it only has it has a handful of videos in it, but the answer to somebody's question is just that very first video, it's more likely that video will end up showing up than it is that playlist shows up. But if they do, if you're like, hey, here's, how to take care of a motorcycle is the playlist, and then people go into that and then they start, watching video after video after video after video, in that particular case, then, YouTube might have that show up there as a playlist for how to, fix a motorcycle or how to work on a motorcycle, as long as people respond to it. Because when it comes to all of the different pages on YouTube, how the whole thing works is what people respond to most when they're, interacting with the platform. That's the stuff that gets shown there. So if it's search-based, if it's a playlist that people typically respond to best, YouTube will keep showing that playlist as long as people keep responding to it. If it's a single video, then in that case, YouTube's going to prioritize that because it's the thing that their viewers want. So you can do those sorts of things, but you just want to make sure that you are being considerate of, like, is this appropriate for that, page that I'm trying to go after? Let's see here. So next up on the list, number 4, D, if you're paying attention.
I'm not.
Alexster is the name of the channel. They upload when they have time. It's the type of channel is a normal channel. The goal of the channel is to be famous.
What's
and the question is
normal channel?
I'm not sure. Great question though. The goal of the channel is to be famous, and the question is, so how did you start, or how did it feel when you started? That's a good question. So when I first started, it felt awkward. It felt uncomfortable. I didn't think that
it hurt.
Yeah, all kind of.
It was really awkward.
I didn't think that I should be on camera. I didn't think that I didn't have like really a real interest in being like a YouTube content creator. I was just coming in for more, different things. At that time I was coming in as kind of like a means to an end because, the whole thing was that I was kind of sliding into internet marketing at that time. And one of the things that people were talking about in internet marketing on a forum that I was on at the time called Warrior Forum is they were talking about how effective that YouTube was for generating emails. And at that time I was trying to learn more about internet marketing. And I'm like, okay, well, if this is what you're supposed to be doing, then maybe YouTube would be a good outlet for that. So I struggled with it for a while before, I actually, came on camera and started doing the thing. But my first video was about how to overcome camera shyness, because that particular video was just kind of, me working through the things that the questions that I had and the problems that I had with it, and my reasoning through those particular problems. So that's why I made that my very first video, to kind of share with others that might be facing the same thing. How about you, D?
Yeah, I did not want to be on camera either. And it's not...
You're handsome, though. I don't know why.
It's not that... I mean, I really wasn't afraid to be on camera. It was just I've never been on camera before. I've always been behind the camera shooting somebody else, right?
Yeah.
So to be in front of the camera, it's like doing a presentation on a stage. Like, you can say those things a million times. You're in a live stream, you can say it in a video, but suddenly you're up on stage in front of a live audience with a headset on, with a microphone that's blasting out of the speaker. Everything changes. Yeah. Same thing. You can be behind the camera, you can shoot, you can help other people film things or whatever, but as soon as you're in front of the camera and you have to speak, it's really uncomfortable. Yeah. It took me quite a bit of time to get over that. Like, I don't care now. Yeah. Now I'm just okay, time to make the donuts. Just getting there, what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? Focusing on the hook. How am I going to hand it off to whatever? What's the purpose of that video? But back then, man, I was just painfully just trying to get through every sentence. And I would just make mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. And I would just get so mad at myself. I'm like, my God, how do these people do this? And I would watch people do like one-take videos that are like 10 minutes long.
Or the videos that seem like one takes.
Right.
Because as a viewer, you don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's just incredible. I'm never going to be like that. And I'm still not.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. Same.
I'm still not. Some people are fantastic at just doing those one-take videos. But I was so awkward, and it just felt, it was just something. Here's the thing. I knew it was something that I had to do. Right? He was doing it. He was having a lot of fun with it. He recommended it. I was streaming with you at the time. I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, this is something that I just have to do. I got to push through it. I don't want to do it. The only way to get better at it is to do the thing. Repeatedly do the thing. I had to put in my reps. And then after, I don't know, 6 months or so, it just became second
natural,
nature.
kind of.
Yeah, it just became natural. Now I don't even think about it. Don't think about it for live
thing too is you get more
videos,
tolerant of the process.
Yeah.
Like how you're saying before, like when it first starts. Like I remember, just like what you were talking about, I remember having moments where you're just saying the line over and over again, and you just keep messing it up, and it creates frustration, which then makes it harder to actually get through the line the next time. And you're like, oh my God, why can't I get this out of my head? And it becomes a frustrating process instead of a fun, process. So once you get past all of that and it becomes a fun process, then everything, kind of changes.
So this is funny. Dan
Curry in the house. What's up, dude? Hope you're doing awesome, man.
So
it's been a while.
Dan can be a witness to probably the most difficult video.
That you guys made a video together at Vid Summit. Yeah,
we finally got through it, but it was really late, and I
remember that. I think I have B-roll of that.
We were at Vid Summit. It was really late. We were both exhausted, and we just kept laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. I think that was the most difficult video.
Did you laugh
to date? We giggled. Okay, we giggled together. Right. It was a moment. All right. But yeah. So now every time I see Dan's name pop up, I think about giggling with him. Yeah.
Just trying to hold it together.
Trying to get it together. That was a difficult video to make.
That happened with Alex Guberman. Yeah. Happened with me and him when we were trying to make a video, and Brian G also. Yeah. Yeah, to where you just go into hysterics, and there's like, it's just, I think it just comes from exhaustion and overload and like all that stuff. But yeah, it's super, super funny.
Yeah.
So next question that we have here, D, we're on number 5 if you're keeping track.
I'm definitely not keeping track.
Okay.
To their point that they were asking you, why were they asking you what was your first video like?
They were just curious, I guess. Yeah, so they say, how did you start and how did it feel when you started? That was the question. So no real, additional information there. It was just, just a question.
Yeah, it's awkward, man. Just push through it.
Yep.
Push through it.
Yep.
And you'll get better at it. If you feel that you are not good at it, just keep doing it.
Yep.
You'll get better at it.
He said he also called you Nick. And and that didn't help either.
Yeah. Yeah. We started off wrong.
Yeah,
right
good times. Yeah, good times. So next up on the list, we got Backstrapman Otaku News. They upload 1 time per week or more. They do anime and manga news content. The goal of the channel says just keeping anime and manga fans up to date with the news. And the question is, if a brand reaches out, how do you know if it's legitimate? This is tough. First, just as a quick thing, because I got to say it, don't click on anything. If somebody, send you an email, if you're going to do contracts, make sure that those contracts come through DocuSign. Any respectable company is going to understand that you need those contracts through DocuSign. Yeah. And then that way you can, kind of do it through DocuSign instead of having to do anything, PDF related or anything like that. You got to be careful because people are spoofing websites now to where it looks legit. You click on the link and then it goes to a site that looks like that website, and then you log in via your YouTube account and then they get your information there.
Scammers
like all kinds
everything.
of, they're smart.
Scammers ruin everything. Back in the old days,
when I was little,
back when I was starting out, we didn't have to worry about clicking on PDF files.
Yep. Not as much.
Not as much.
Yeah.
It really is a shame that creators are in a position now to where you want to make a living doing this. You want to advance. You want to, whatever it is, get products, get paid, whatever you're trying to do, all the stuff. And you have to be concerned about clicking on anything.
Yeah.
Even from a legit company, because they're spoofing email addresses.
Yep.
Downloading things. Stay away from anybody who wants you to install the VPN.
Yep.
That's the first red flag.
Yep.
Install this thing. Don't install anything ever from anybody.
Yep.
Ever.
Yep.
Because they're going to take your channel if you do.
Yeah, so a few things. The first is the domain thing, right? Making sure that it comes from a good domain. But like Beaver Zero said, some of that can be spoofed now as well. They can also do little things. Like, for example, instead of it being, we'll just use YouTube as an example. So instead of it being youtube.com, they might change one of the letters in the, in the URL to make it seem like it's legit. You don't really notice unless you're paying attention to it. Yeah. Big companies, they usually have that kind of stuff, secured. But, like for some smaller company that is reaching out on behalf of a supposed tech company or whatever else, they might not be as diligent with that sort of thing. So you do want to check that though. Other things that you can do is you can also hop on LinkedIn and research the people that are supposedly sending you that email, and then do a direct contact with them there for confirmation to make sure that they did actually reach out to you. That would be the most safe way, because then that way you have that direct company connection, and then you can reach out to them directly on LinkedIn just for that confirmation, and just let them know. Say, hey, there's a lot of weird stuff going on with, YouTube right now and people trying to hack an account. So because of that, I just wanted to, just reach out to you here just to confirm that, that your outreach was legitimate. And then from there, you should have what it is that you need there.
Yeah, I would also ask them, because if you're trying to reach out to people on social media, if you're not following each other, or even if you are, you can still end up like in there sorted in the spam part of the DMs. So I would just reply to the email and just say, hey, what's a great social media account to follow you at, and then see if that's their real account, and then go in and look at them that way. Let them know I'm going to send you a message.
Yep. MJ Recording Studio, what's going on? Hope that you're doing fantastic.
It's what a shame,
nice
man.
To see you in here.
It aggravates me that that we have to be in that situation.
Yeah, that's how it is, though.
Yeah,
there's how it is and how we want it to be. Unfortunately, they don't always match up, right?
Scammers.
Yep. So next up on our list here, we've got Fish Camp TV. They have been making videos for a year or more. They do fishing education content. The goal of the channel is to become monetized and to build my brand. And the question is, has anyone who works for YouTube ever confirmed step by step what exactly happens when you refresh a video by changing the tags or thumbnail? Yes. And does YouTube treat the video as freshly uploaded? No. and giving it the temporary rankings boost? No. I've accidentally killed a ranked video by messing with the tags. Should I delete it? No. So here's the thing: when you update the tags on the video, it's not going to negatively impact the video itself. So the things that do impact the video, the performance of the video, is how people respond to it. So when you make changes on the video into the title, that can cause a different reaction to it. So therefore, that can help a video, hurt a video, or keep it the same if the response is similar. And then you have your thumbnail. If your thumbnail is changed, then in that particular case, it's the same thing to where that thumbnail is going to, well, there's actually a whole thing going on here. So the thumbnail can also determine if somebody's going to click on that video or not by if it's going to grab their attention, right? And the thumbnail title and how they work together as a team to when to click. When you're messing with either one of those things, it's going to impact how people are, interacting with that video. Now, another thing is when you change the title or the thumbnail, it can also impact how the viewer is interacting with the video content as well, which can also help or hurt the video. So for example, like let's say that you have a video where people are watching it for a fair amount of time, but you're like, oh, I think I can redo this packaging to make it even better. And then you change the thumbnail and title in the way that you think is going to be better. And let's say it creates a different expectation for the viewer when they're clicking on the content. Well, in that particular case, when they click on it, they're not going to get fully satisfied with the experience that they're having in the video. And then they're going to end up bailing on the video or leaving the video. And then when they leave that particular video, then that could start hurting the performance as well because they're not, engaging with the video as much. So because of that, there's an impact that you can make. It can help, hurt, it can stay the same, but it's all based on how people respond to those changes that you make. But little details, like for example, like if you change a tag or you remove a tag, that's not going to be something that's going to decimate the video or anything like that.
Even if your ranking score for that changed, that's still not going to be something that's going to be noticeable.
And an important thing, because I see Fish Camp TV saying that my ranking for a specific tag went from 20 to 0. So here's the thing. Every tool that gives you a tag ranking, all of those tag rankings are based on your YouTube channel. They're based on your YouTube account. So because of that, if I were to look at that same exact video, I may or may not, or that if I were to look for your video on my account, I may or may not see that video showing up in the same place. Those tag rankings are only showing, I believe that that's a misleading feature on all of the stuff that does it, because it does kind of
Shots fired.
Yeah, because it does create this type of confusion, right? So when you see those rankings, you think, oh, everybody sees this. That means that my video is number 20 for everybody. But in reality, it's only number 20 for the channel that you're actually seeing that number on, that you're logged into in that moment seeing that number. So when it comes to YouTube search results, it's important to know that, like, let's say D looked for something. And then let's say I looked for something. And let's say 20 other people looked for something.
What did I look for? Let's do it now.
I guess we would need some type of fishing video.
Okay.
Just for this example, but then we're going to start getting recommended like fishing content.
Ohio River catfishing.
Okay, there's probably not a lot of content out for that.
Okay.
But let's just see what happens. And just say what's at the top. But hold on.
Ohio River catfishing.
YouTube.com. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Wait, don't say it yet. Ohio River catfishing.
Yes. One word, catfishing. Ohio River catfishing.
Everybody at home can kind of play along with this if you would like. But the very first video on number 3, I'm just going to say 1, 2, 3, say it.
Are we saying the channel or the title?
We're going to say the title at the same exact time.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let me show you the easiest way to catch catfish on the Ohio River.
Ohio River.
Yeah. So right there, we're seeing two different things. So the result that D said, 25 minutes of locating and catching catfish on the Ohio River, that is number 3 on my view. Right. So the demonstration here, and everybody at home can try this out as well. The first one that I'm seeing is, let me show you the easiest way to catch catfish on the Ohio River.
That's number 2 for me.
First one D is seeing is 25 minutes of locating and catching catfish on the Ohio River. Okay. So the thing with this is, and everybody can try this at home too, like right now, just open up a new window and give it a shot. But the thing with search results is they are also catered to the viewer. So just like everything else on the platform. So let's say, for example, and this is why you should never rely on those tag numbers that shows your rankings, because a lot of people put a lot of importance there. Amy Johnson says, suddenly Ohio River catfishing is trending on YouTube.
Yeah. Hey, listen, let's get this trending on YouTube and X. Let's go. Hashtag Ohio River catfishing. Let's go. We can do this, people. Listen, we've got 210 people in this room right now. We can change. We can make a difference for catfish in the Ohio River.
Catfisher in Ohio is going to be like, I don't know what happened. My video just started blowing up out of nowhere.
That guy, right. We should all go. We should also leave comments under that. Go find that video and leave comments. Like Niman Raid.
Oh, goodness.
He's going to be like, what in the world?
That's good, Amy.
Carp is better, LOL.
But the idea that I'm trying to express is that the YouTube search results are catered to the viewer also. So yes, there are circumstances where you might see the same video within the first top 3 results pretty much on anything that you look at it on. However, let's say that you watch a lot of my content. And this is funny, like when you see people, when you know what I'm getting ready to tell you, and then you see people sharing videos of their content ranking like #1 in search somewhere for something like competitive or something like that, it really starts to paint a different picture of what's happening. But basically, when let's say you watch a lot of my content, and then let's say I made a video about, let's say, we'll just say Opus Clip. So I make a video about Opus Clip. You watch a lot of my content more than the other people that have made videos about Opus Clip. The way that YouTube works is because they know that you interact with my content a lot. Even if my content doesn't normally rank in those first, those top spots, there's a really good chance, not guaranteed, but it's a really good chance that if you're watching my content a lot and then you hop on YouTube and you look for that thing that you haven't, interacted with on my channel about, but I have a video for that, then there's a really good chance that if you're highly engaged in my channel, that one of my videos is going to be somewhere up there, so that, you'll be like, oh, hey, I know this guy. I'll click on that particular one, right? So then they can get you in there from YouTube search too. And they know that I deliver satisfactory results for you because you're constantly interacting with my YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. So yeah, when it comes to search and the search rankings that you see when it comes to tags, you got to be really careful there. In addition to that, your videos do not, for the second part of your question here, your videos do not get they do not get re-indexed when you modify something. So the false thing that people say, and you got to be really careful now because there's so much garbage content out there trying to help content creators.
Yeah.
And they're using like ChatGPT, which is using like old information on everything. So you got to be just super careful out there. But basically, when it comes to the idea of YouTube re-indexing your content, there's content creators out there that are saying like, hey, if you change this stuff, it's going to make YouTube think that you have a new video, and it's going to treat that like it's a new video. Doesn't work that way. It's going to still continue to give you the same impressions, but then if people respond to it more or less, that's going to be reflected in the content. So you might tank your video, you might keep your video about the same, or it might cause your video to increase in overall activity. Let's see here.
There's a lot of bad information out there.
Yeah, Dan says, these days, all you have to do is say something out loud to get it recommended to you on every platform, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, like Brian G says, says, I don't think it'll matter much. Just keep them watching more and clicking more. Focus on engagement, not the tags. Yeah, like if you focus on the content itself, right? Focus on the content itself. Focus on delivering value to the people that you're targeting with your content, and you just do that consistently, and you keep working on that. That's the path. Absolutely the path. So next up on the list here, we've got The Sicilian Life is our next channel. They upload 1 time per week or more. The type of channel is travel and Sicilian culture. The goal of the channel is to share Sicilian culture and help Italians and Sicilians connect. Question is, please explain the basic steps for trying to get seen in search versus, then they have a line, so I guess that's recommended. Okay, so here's an example that I like to give. Roger Wakefield in the house. What's up, my man? Hope that you're doing fantastic. Nice to see you in here. So when it comes to search content versus recommendation content, there's nuance when you're targeting one over the other. So a couple things I want to say. The very first is that when it comes to recommendations, that's where the juice is. So most of the traffic on YouTube comes from the recommendation system. So that's where the juice is. If you want like fast growth, if you want to, have a video like pop off like quickly, that happens through YouTube's recommendation system. Search is fantastic if you're talking about like tools and teaching people stuff and, you know, giving people solutions to things. Like that's great for search and it's great for long-term traffic on YouTube. Okay. All, you know, both of those things. So the difference is when you're actually targeting them, the example I like to give is if you were going to make a video about this mouse, right? This is one of the Logitech, what's this called, D? MX Master 3S mouse. So with this particular mouse, if I was trying to get this, if I was trying to make a video show up in search for this, the very first thing, hey, Roger, welcome back, my dude. Thank you for the support always. You're amazing. Thank you. So when it comes to this mouse, if I was trying to get it to show up in search, the very first thing is you have to think about where it is that you want to get your videos to show up. And this is all part of content strategy, but you got to think of where it is that you're trying to get attention to your video before you start making the video, before you commit to making the video so that you can make sure that you frame everything right. Okay. So if I was trying to get search traffic for this particular mouse because, you know, I was trying to sell it as an affiliate or something like that, then in that particular case, my video would be like a review on this particular mouse so that when people were looking for that mouse, that, you know, as long as my video was good, then it would show up in YouTube search and then people would find it there. So maybe the title would be something like a Logitech MX Master S review. Okay, that's level 1. Now, when it shows up in YouTube search, just a quick side tip here, when it shows up in YouTube search, there's going to be a bunch of other videos that are also going to be Logitech MX Master Review 3S, right? So then you got to think, okay, if this is going to show up in search, I also need to add a little bit of something to this in order to try to get people to click on my video more than the other videos there. So of course you would need to research the other results there and see if you could find a way to stand out. But the difference is there in search is if you just make a video about the review, then people have a big listing of other review videos that they could possibly watch. But if you think about, and this is where thinking about everything before you commit to making the video comes into play, if you think about it through the lens of like, okay, if somebody's looking for a review on this, then there's a really good chance that they are probably considering buying this or they're exploring this for some reason. So because of that, if I wanted to make this more compelling in YouTube search and try to get them to click on my video over somebody else, and it's somebody that might be considering like getting one of these, then in that case, maybe the title would be something like Logitech MX Master 3S Review, you know, things I wish I knew before I bought it, right? Or something like that, maybe a little bit more concise. But, watch this before you buy, you know, those types of things. But the idea is that now you are optimizing it for search there in terms of the topic, right? Because it's a review, and then you're adding something compelling to it to try to get people to click on yours over the other results that are there. Now, that's just one example, right? And of course you could do that, you know, in a few different ways. You could also make it like, you know, must have office accessories, must have computer accessories, things like that, where you would just add it as a list, you know, that you would also go after search and also recommendations for, but those types of things that, and also think about when it comes to that type of packaging, if you were to see that particular packaging on a home page, it's not going to be as impactful because in that particular case, you have to be already interested in this particular mouse in order for that video to matter and in order for you to even know what it means. So if you were to see on your home page, Logitech MX Master 3X Review, things to know before you buy, then in that particular case, you're probably not going to care unless you've been actively, you know, looking for reviews on that already before it gets recommended to you. So because of that, it's not super compelling from the homepage. However, the alternate is if you're trying to get traffic from YouTube's recommendation system, the difference is this. Let's say that you are trying to get traffic from the homepage or suggested videos. In that particular case, then you might have like you in the thumbnail pointing to it or, you know, whatever, or you might have some other representation of like, holy cow, this thing makes a huge difference. But then the title could be something like, this mouse increased my productivity by X%. In that particular case, they don't have to know what a Logitech is. They don't have to know what a Logitech MX Master 3 is. All they have to care about is like, oh, this mouse increased their productivity. I'm a productive person. I'm somebody that likes to get stuff done. Let me click on this and see how this increased this person's productivity to see if it'll help me in some way, right? So the difference there is that you're thinking, okay, how can I grab somebody's attention when they're not expecting to watch this video, be presented this video, which is where this increased my productivity or whatever. So there's a compelling reason behind it versus Logitech MX Master 3 review, or, you know, office things that you need, and, you know, those sorts of things. So that's the main difference between the two. You just got to sit back and think, okay, if somebody was, you know, looking for this, how might they look for it? You can find that out through TubeBuddy. You can find that out through hopping into Google search and just start typing things in Google search around that thing that you're going to be talking about. You can do the same exact thing with YouTube search, where you start typing into the YouTube search bar around the, you know, around the thing that you're trying to bring attention to or whatever, and it will show you exactly what people are looking for. And then from there, you just use that, and then you try to work something, you know, compelling into it. And then, of course, you got to make a good video, right? And then when it comes to the recommendation system, then you got to think, okay, when people are logging into YouTube or they're watching other videos, they're not actively looking for this. So because of that, how can I frame this in a way that's going to grab their attention and pull them into this video for the people that might qualify, you know, to have some type of interest in this? So then you wrap something else into it, like I did. And this is just one example, but like, you know, with the app, when you wrap the productivity into it, then there you get people that are interested in anything computer related, plus you get people that are interested in productivity. So then you can also kind of spread the audience out a little bit too, in terms of the people that you're pulling into the actual video. So hopefully that made sense.
We got Dan Courier is a channel member.
Hey, Dan, welcome to the Niminati. Make sure that you go to niminvip.com when you get the chance. That's going to redirect you to the Facebook group, and also there's a Discord as well. So I already know you, so so because of that, you know, just submit the request, and then I'll get you in there after the stream. So next up on the list here, we've got...
Yeah, Drew S. says the MX Master 3 is the best mouse for editing. I love it. Yeah, listen.
This is pretty incredible. Just a quick side note. We have no relationship whatsoever with them, but I've got 4 of these.
I have 3 of these.
Yep.
I have 3 of these, and I cannot imagine ever using anything else.
Until the next one comes out?
I will use this until I can no longer use it. And
until your carpal tunnel goes into full effect?
Exactly. I also... So... A lot of you who use Mac might have, or PC, might have these little Mac small keyboards.
Yep.
And I thought these were amazing until I bought the MX keys. Oh my goodness. The MX,
yeah, you mentioned that to me, I
the
think
MX keys are equally as good as the mouse. I just have to order. I have one, and I'm going to order them for everything.
Nice.
It feels so good.
Right. So saying like says, thank you, I'm going to get the mouse.
Yeah. No affiliation with them whatsoever.
No affiliation whatsoever. Yeah, just using that as an example. But yeah, it is a pretty amazing mouse, though.
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
Let's see here. So next up on the list,
Chantel concurs. She says, I just got the MX Master 3 from Mac, and I've had the MX Anywhere from Mac. Also, MX Keys is the best keyboard I've owned. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I bought MX Keys, and I thought, what have I been doing with my life?
Does the MX Keys work with an iPad? Because I want to get a keyboard for it, but I don't want to spend like $300 and something for the stupid iPad one.
I'm sure it does.
I want to get an external. Okay.
I'm sure it does.
It's just Bluetooth?
Yeah, I'm sure it does, because I use my iPad as an external monitor, and you can just set it up to where it's an extension, and then
But I mean, will the keyboard work standalone? Is it just a Bluetooth keyboard? Is that
all? It's just a Bluetooth keyboard. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure it will. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it will, because I use it as an extension and it works there, so it has to work normally.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and Chantel and Doug both confirm.
Tan going in the kitchen, thanks for the super chat. Says, believe me, you don't want to see the videos on my first YouTube channel 16 years ago. Back then, my English was very limited. Yeah, you know, I mean, the thing is, though, you got to start somewhere, right? So, like, I feel you. You know, like, I actually had a tutorial channel where I uploaded, like, 4 videos before I started this channel. And it's funny. The tone and everything, I'm like, so next you go up to the lasso tool, and then you, right here, you do this. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
You learn along the way.
Yep. But it was a tutorial on how to make a banner in Photoshop.
Wow.
That was the tutorial. Yep. But it was like, I wasn't on screen or anything. It was just a tutorial. But let's see here. Let's go back to Maurice Mateo, who is our next question. They upload every other day, been on YouTube for 1 year or more. The type of channel is vlogs, live streams, and videos. The goal of the channel is to monetize and to be known. The question is, how can I get a community, more subs? How can I find my niche by solving people's problems? So when it comes to finding your niche, it's more about figuring out one, because you say you want to be known, figuring out, you know, what goals you have and the purpose that you're doing YouTube for. And then also thinking about, okay, well, you know, what is it that I like to do? Because if I'm trying to get known, then I'm going to get known for something. So what is it that I want to fully immerse myself in for the next, you know, however long, you know, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. So I would actually start there in terms of like, you know, what would I really like to do? And then I would write down a list of items or a list of, you know, different niches or different things that you might like to talk about, and then go and research those things. So I have a video on my YouTube channel called and the concept applies regardless if you're starting it for, you know, to get, you know, monetize or to make money or, you know, other things. It's basically about researching other channels. But the video is called something along the lines of like how to start a YouTube channel to make money. Make sure that you check out that video, because in that video I talk about, you know, in detail what it is that you're asking here. I gave you a spreadsheet on like how to actually, you know, research other channels and kind of keep track of, you know, what other people are doing, so you can make an informed decision when you decide to go into a niche. So just make sure that you do check out that particular video, and it'll put you in the you know, right place there. Fly Ride in the house. What's up, dude? Hope you're doing awesome.
Fly Ride in the house.
Nice to see you in here. Stanley Orchard. What's up, dude? Hope you're doing great. Stanley. So next up on our list, hey D, we're on number 9 if you're paying attention.
I'm definitely not paying attention.
Okay. It's BJ Jones. They upload when they have time. They do advocacy and information content. The goal of the channel is to provide information on what's available for our communities, focused on low and middle class humans. Question is, I see people have channels that provide news commentary like Midas Touch, Brian Taylor Cohen, etc., and they show parts of the major news shows like in MSNBC. How is this possible without a copyright strike? I want to add clips to highlight what my topic is, but I don't know the steps to get that access. Do we have to be an official news outlet, put in disclaimers, ask the companies for permission? Do you have any insights or steps recommended? And glad you're back, D.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
See, you're paying attention now, right? Paying attention now.
I'm always paying attention. I'm just not reading the...
yeah, I know, I'm just kidding. So
what did you say?
When it comes to when it comes to this, the thing, or the way that they're getting away with that is they are using it in a way that is considered fair use. So when it comes to news related content, you can get away with a lot there, because what you're doing is you're actually reporting on the things that have happened. And because of that, you know, you can get some leeway there. What I do recommend, and I know this is probably more than you want to do right now, but what I recommend that you do is I recommend that you do contact an attorney and say, this is what I'm trying to do. You know, would this particular way that I'm doing this be something that I could, you know, use fair use as a defense? And if the answer is yes, then, you know, continue to pursue it. If the answer is no, then talk to your lawyer and say, okay, you know, what's a better way that I can do this to where I can guarantee that it's going to fall under fair use? And then that way, it ensures that everything you create from now into the future, as you're investing all of this time and, you know, resources into making content, that you ensure that you're not going to just wake up and everything be gone because you didn't, you know, follow the rules and do it in the right way. So you can take that approach, or you can just do everything you can to just inform yourself by, you know, reading official information on fair use and what it means, and, you know, getting yourself up to speed with copyright law and all of that. But that's usually the way that people get around that sort of thing. Other things that happen too is sometimes, you know, they'll get claims on the videos, and, you know, they'll just kind of know that those claims are coming in and just let them keep coming in, and they don't care because they monetize in other ways. You know, there's that sort of thing as well. So it just kind of depends, you know, with the actual content. But fair use is the way that people get away with that.
Yeah, and the main thing is you don't want to just take... Okay, there's a difference between playing a movie, right? I'm just going to upload 2 hours of The Matrix versus I'm going to make a video talking about different scenes of The Matrix, and you maybe show 15 seconds here or 30 seconds here. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't get a claim or you can't get a strike.
Right.
But YouTube does have a setting when you go to dispute that. They have a fair use setting where you can claim that you're using it as fair use. Mm-hmm. And that's essentially that I am discussing this thing. I'm discussing this news. I'm discussing this clip. You may or may not win that dispute, but that is how people get away with it. Yep. And generally speaking, when people are, you know, when you're seeing stuff on the news and they're putting things out there and people are taking clips from the news and putting that stuff out there, in most cases, as long as you are discussing that and not just stealing it entirely, and you're adding something to it, it could just
as
be
Brian G says here, transformative.
Exactly. There's a part for transformative where it's to add something new with a further purpose or different character. Yeah.
Oh, you can pull it up like a definition.
Yeah, I had
That's
it
what
actually
I'm
pulled
talking
up.
about
No,
right
I
there.
had it pulled up before
That's
you
what you
said
get on Nimin Live
transformative, right?
from D.
You want to add something to it, and your commentary or explaining it might fall under that. Again, it doesn't mean you won't get a claim or a strike, but you do have some grounds to dispute that,
Yes.
and you may or may not win that dispute. Ian Corzine has some great information on his YouTube channel.
He does.
About fair use. I highly recommend when the stream is over, going over there and watching some of his videos about it.
English Fun Zone, member for 12 months. Thank you for your support of those 12 months. Has it been 12 months? Thanks for all the suggestions and with helping me reach over 10K. Congratulations to you on the 10K. Absolutely love it. You've been grinding it out, right? Doing the thing. Absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it.
Brian says D has been replaced by an AI agent version of D. I'm nervous. Yes.
He is, actually.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, Hey Jen's getting really good.
It is.
Yep. Yeah, D's actually out running around the city right now. Yeah, I just have like a reactive Hey Gen going on right now.
Countdown until we can actually do that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if you apply Hey Gen if you combine Hey Gen with Notebook LM, you got it.
Right.
Right. Those two things. If you build a bridge there, then you can absolutely do that.
So I have
not around a Q&A, probably not yet, but around information in general.
I have to share something.
Okay.
With everybody, and I'm a little bit embarrassed.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
I'm a little bit embarrassed.
The build up makes this amazing.
Yeah. So I've
hold on, wait. Let me get kind of. All right, that's good. Let me get kind of comfortable here. Okay, and get my coffee in hand.
Okay.
So I can just focus and sip.
Okay. So you can't see it today. It's because it's been growing back. But I've been going to a barber. I go to the barber now.
I thought this was gonna be something like embarrassing. Like you're going to a barber. That's the embarrassing thing.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh, okay.
I gotta tell you what happened at the barber.
I'm on.
So I've been going to the barber once a week. Usually I'll come in like on a Friday, and you can see because I'll be trimmed up here, that sort of thing.
You'll be looking fly.
Yeah, and I went to the barber, and my main guy wasn't there. And I was coming off of being sick, and I was burly, and I hadn't shaved in like 2 weeks, and I was just a mess. I looked like I just.
He looked like a mountain man, if we're honest.
I grow hair really fast on my face, except for one place, my eyebrows. My eyebrows grow at the pace of a snail.
I'm the opposite. I have to trim mine like almost every time I shave because mine grow like wild weeds.
Right. So, and this is all kind of ties into the story. So I go into the barber. And my guy wasn't there, but I was a mess. And I was like, listen, can you just shave me down? My guy's not there. I'm not going to name him. And he was like, yeah. And he did the stuff and shaved my head with the electric razor really short. And I was like, can you get my eyebrows?
Oh, he like trimmed you like proper. Look at that.
They're gone.
Yeah, I know. I see it.
My eyebrows are gone.
Yeah.
You see them on the edge?
Yeah, I do.
The whole...
Yeah, I guess you won't request that anymore.
The whole sides of my eyebrows are gone.
Yeah.
Because
your hat, I didn't even notice.
That's why, right? He only left the top part, and he trimmed off the corners of my eyebrows.
So that was the embarrassing thing?
It doesn't stop there.
Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go.
We will be talking about the rest of that story on Nimin After Dark. After this stream ends, make sure you go over to the Nimin After Dark channel, and I will finish the story after there because it gets a lot worse.
Love it. Now people are like, oh my God, I didn't know there's a Nimin After Dark channel.
Yeah.
Good.
And for those of you who said it's not that bad, yes, this happened days ago.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit. Yeah.
My man Dusty, Poly Innovator, what's going on, dude? Hope you're doing awesome. Nice to see you in here.
Yep. I mean, what? Imagine a barber cutting off somebody's eyebrows.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is we're having the conversation. I was just having casual chit chat with the guy. And I was like, how long have you been doing this? He was like, 10 years.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, he's probably going to do a good job. He cut off my eyebrows. Huh?
Oh, love it, love it, love it.
There you go. Just wanted to share a little bit. I wanted to be vulnerable.
So, next up on the list, we've got, let's see here. Ohio Sucker Sigma is the name of the channel. They started a channel less than 1 month ago. Let's see here. Scroll down to the type of channels. Confusing. Guyat busting. Not sure what that is.
Is he catfishing in the Ohio River?
I'm not sure. But the goal of the channel is to... Hold on. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is. This is just like a bunch of like gibberish. So I'm going to move on to the next one. So we've got Lilo's D's Creations. They upload 1 time per week or more. They do DIY home decor channel. The goal of the channel is to share ideas, grow my reach, and build a full-time business. And the question is, what is the best way to start getting brand deals? Where do you start? Great question. So when it comes to brand deals, there's a couple different approaches that you can take. You can take the active approach, or you can take the passive approach. The active approach, or we'll start with the passive because it's the easiest to start with, is where you just make great content. You wait for people to hit your inbox, or you're messaging on LinkedIn or wherever they get you. So that's the passive approach, and that works, over time. So like if you're just making content and, your channel's starting to grow, things like that, companies that want to get in front of your viewers will definitely end up noticing over time, and then they will, send you an email if they're interested in working with you. If they can see what it is that you're doing with your brand, they think that, your brand is a good fit, that you would represent them well, and they also know that your audience is who it is that they're trying to get in front of. They'll send you an email and let you know. Now, when it comes to the active approach, it's totally different there. The whole idea when it comes to the active approach is you want to get yourself on the radar of the companies that you want to work with. And the whole idea there is that, not every company is working with influencers at all times. Not every company is always running ad campaigns. Not every company, is doing stuff right there in the moment. And some will have, specific requirements that you may or may not meet. But the idea is that you want to get yourself on the radar. So how do you get yourself on the radar? One, you can send them an email and say, hey, I want to let you know I have a YouTube channel. I use your products. I think what it is that you're doing is great. If you ever do any type of influencer marketing, keep me in mind. Just wanted to make a connection here and have a great day, and then sign off on it. That's one approach, because then you're just letting them know. And the person that you'd send the email to, you would hop on LinkedIn and you would look for the influencer marketing person for that company on LinkedIn. If the influencer marketing person, if they don't have one, then in that case, you might want to look into their marketing person or their salesperson. And if they say they're not the person to talk to, then in that case, you would ask who is the person to talk to, and then you'd send that person an email. The next option to get yourself on the radar is that you go ahead and you kind of pay it forward. And you pay it forward by making content about that company, so that, one, if you like their stuff, then, it's just a good thing to do anyway, because then you're letting your viewers know about it. But it also gives you the opportunity to share that content on Twitter or X, on LinkedIn, and anywhere else, and tag those companies if they have accounts on those particular platforms. When they see that, they appreciate that, and they may or may not, interact with you there. But at the very least, that will put you on their radar. Okay. The next one is sending them an email and like trying to work something out. And this one is on the aggressive side. And with this one, what you do is you put together an idea for a video that a company that you're wanting to work with would be a perfect fit for. And you say, I'm working on this video. I'm wanting to include some, products of yours. And, I would like to, work out something with you in order to, really, like I'm putting you in this video, so I'd like to work out something with you, on the influencer marketing side, if that's something that you're interested in. And then from there, they know that you're going to make the video about it. If you pitch the idea of the video so that it shows that, you're going to be representing them in some way that might be favorable to them, then in that particular case, you are letting them know that you're working on, that video, and you would like to have them involved in some way. And that can open doors for you as well. But the best thing though is to get on the radar, connect with the people at the companies on LinkedIn, connect with the companies, follow them all over the internet. For the companies that you want to work with, interact with their posts, things like that, so that you can, get noticed by those companies as well. But the best thing is to just, work hard to get on the actual radar. Same exact thing goes if you are posting your YouTube content elsewhere. So if you are posting your regular content on like LinkedIn and stuff like that, even just mentioning, you don't even have to highlight their products, but just mentioning a company in your content, and then tagging them there, again, it helps get you on the radar. Any additional tips, D?
Nope, you nailed them.
All right.
But you've got a super chat.
Tommy Stiggs, thanks for the super chat, says, great show. For you guys, do you ever visit or check out the live shows or content of your supporters and followers in the chats? And do you reciprocate? So I'm not sure what you mean on the reciprocate side, but absolutely, I do check out content, and I check out live streams as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't watch everybody, but if they do make stuff that I'm interested in, then yeah, absolutely. Like, I actually use that as a way to find good content, because fortunately for me, my content section is filled with content creators. And for me, I don't care if it's a big content creator or a small content creator. If the content's cool and I'm like, wow, this is good stuff, then I'll watch the content. So because of that, yeah, absolutely. As long as the content itself is, is something that's, that's good. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
We've also been on live streams and stuff with people too, to where, somebody's having a live stream and you go in there like, hey, what's going on? They're like, oh, hey, you want to come on? And then, just go on the live stream. So like, that kind of stuff, definitely happens.
If I hop online and somebody I'm subscribed to, somebody in the community even, because there's a handful of people that I subscribe to just because I like the content that they make, and I see that they're live, even if I can't stay there, I usually hop in and just say hi.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, drop in and say hi. Little hit and run.
Yeah, like Jerry, for example, like Jerry Popandrea is in here. Like I actually interact with Jerry more on TikTok than I do on YouTube. Yep. Yeah, TikTok recommends him to me all the time. So like anytime I run across one of his videos, I watch it.
That's crazy.
Let's see here. So next up on the list, we've got Caverna Tech. Caverna Tech uploads 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for less than a year. The type of channel is tech-related and tutorials, and the goal of the channel is to change my life. And the question is, hello, today I turned 50 years old. Happy birthday.
Wow.
Happy birthday.
The big 5-0.
Yep.
The big,
happy birthday.
The big Cinco-Rooney.
Yep. Yesterday, I reached 500 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I made my first upload 10 months ago, and I post on average once a week. My channel is all about technology and tutorials. The growth is slow, but I work 14 hours a day, 7 days a week with my main job, so each video is a challenge. My channel is in Portuguese. My question is my growth rate very slow, below normal, or should I persist and continue posting? With friendship, Lewis. So when it comes to the growth rate, when it comes to YouTube, every content creator has a different experience.
You should have led with happy birthday, Lewis.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You didn't.
Didn't you hear the whole happy birthday thing?
No.
Yeah, I did like a whole.
You
I did
did
a whole
not
thing.
even say that at all.
So
this is available for replay.
So it is available for replay. So when it comes to like the growth rate, every content creator has a different experience. Some people will come on the platform, and based on the amount of time they have to put into it, based on how quick they learn things, based on experience that they brought with them from their life before YouTube, all of those things are a factor. So when it comes to YouTube, everybody has a different experience. Like, I have people that started at the same time that I did that, don't have 5,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel yet. I have people that started when I did that have millions of subscribers on their YouTube channels. I've got people that, watch my videos, like Pix Imperfect, for example. I have a video of him. He's got now, I think he might be like he's got a ton of subscribers. I'm not even sure.
Yeah. Huge channel.
Yeah.
Monster.
Gigantic. I'm actually going to look because it increases so fast.
When you think Photoshop,
he's the dude.
He's the guy.
Yep. Yeah, so now he has 5.8 million subscribers. So with him, I have a old video on my YouTube channel, like back when I was first, started sharing like YouTube related information, where in that particular video, I was like, say how many subscribers you have in the comments, and then you come back and check back on this later or whatever. At that time, I can't remember the number, and I know there's a huge difference here, but it was somewhere between 200 and 2,000 was how many subscribers he had at that time. And now, he's way surpassed, what it is that I have.
That's
so
crazy.
The message there is that everybody grows at a different pace. And with you, like you're doing awesome right now because you're continuing to do the thing while you're also working 14 hours, 7 days a week. So what you're trying to accomplish right now, you're probably going to end up having that slow growth until you kind of hit that threshold where like, okay, things are a little more competitive now within YouTube system. And then now things are going to start happening faster. But when it comes to the slower growth on your YouTube channel, because you don't have tons of time to spend learning, all of the skills involved with being a content creator. Because of that, it might continue to evolve slowly unless you have just a few things that you need to get kind of sorted. And then from there, that those things might be strong enough on the skill set side that they might, be able to help you, start moving faster. So instead of thinking, and I know you're just wanting like a general ballpark kind of gauge. I have a video on my channel. If you look for a video, I think it's called something like how many videos you need, or how many videos per subscribers or something like that. Look for that in YouTube search and then add my name to it, and that video is going to pop up. It's me holding the play button, I think. But that particular video was before YouTube Shorts. And it was a breakdown based on all of TubeBuddy's data on how many videos people published on average in order to hit certain subscriber marks. And there's huge swings in both directions. But the idea is everybody grows at different paces. A lot of it comes down to, you know, like how fast you can learn and then apply what it is that you learn, how good you understand your audience, how quickly you can say like, oh, okay, now I get it. It's important for me to niche down if I'm trying to grow faster, right? Things like that are things that, you know, you kind of learn along the way. And if you have the time to dedicate to it, then you usually learn those things faster compared to, you know, being able to work on it just like a couple hours here and a couple hours there. Yeah, so I think 500 subscribers right now, you know, publishing one time per week while you're working 14 hours, you know, per day, I think you're doing great just because you're able to maintain that by itself. So I think you're doing great. D?
Yeah, I just want to add to that. As long as you keep going and you keep,
Amy.
as long as you keep going, you keep trying to get better as you do it, right? You're trying to measure what you've done and you try to get better along the way. Just keep going because a lot of people, they don't really hit their stride for a while.
Yeah.
Right. They might be slugging it out for years, and then all of a sudden they might do like a small tweak, or they might do a pivot and go in a different direction and just find their stride, and they're just off and running. That happens, and everybody grows at their own speed, like you were saying. Yep. So just keep going, keep learning, keep uploading when you can. If you're doing 14 hours a day, you're out there grinding it out. So do what you can and just try to have some level of consistency and try to keep learning.
This is Cillian Life. Thank you for the super chat. Super appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Super chat. That's a grind.
It is.
I remember those
14
days.
hours a day plus the YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Definitely tough. So next up on the list here, we've got Explore Norway. They do tourist advice for Norway. The question is, or the goal of the channel is to help tourists with their Norway journey. And the question is, I'm currently planning an update to one of my videos. The topic is everything about car ferries in Norway. How do I make sure people watch the new video and not the old one, which has some outdated information? So you can't control what YouTube recommends to them, but what you can do is you can actually make a note in the old video that sends people over to the new video. You can do that using your YouTube cards. And then by doing that, that's going to let people that go into that particular video know that you have the new one. The downside of that is if that happens at scale, then it can actually negatively impact that video that they're coming in on, because you're basically sacrificing that video to send it to the new one. So, you know, hopefully YouTube will start recommending the new one in its place if it happens at scale, but there's no guarantee of that.
I went through exactly this. So I had an old video about how to, I forget what the title is. It's something about your upload setting. For people who are uploading on their phone. People are having problems with the video quality, and it was how to upload your videos on higher quality or something on your phone. I forget what the title is. And it was doing very well, gangbusters, hundreds, 1,000+ views or whatever. But it was out of date. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a new video. And I made a new video. And then for the old video, I use cards, I use the end screen, I use a link in the description, and I use a pinned comment to let everybody know there's an update to this new video. So now YouTube is recommending both. So the new video just skyrocketed because everybody's trying to solve that problem to begin with. So the new video just skyrocketed. It's getting tons of views. And the old video, YouTube is still promoting that too.
Nice.
So, but it's out of date.
Yeah, win for you, not for the people interacting with that old video.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, technically other things you can do too is you can, you know, private that video, but like, who wants to do that? Like, if we're honest, right? Like, it's respectful to the viewers, but then on the other side, it's like, well, yeah, but that's also going to introduce people to me where then they can find, you know, the new version or whatever, or they can, you know, get value from the other content or whatever the thing is.
And I'll have people.
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword there.
I'll have people in the comments of the old video complaining that it doesn't work anymore. And I'm like, I gave you 4 different places.
Different ways.
4 different alerts to let you know there was an update, including the top comment here that you had to scroll past to leave your comment that says update. And you still missed it. That's why you're not uploading quality videos. That's why. That's the only reason.
So Explore Norway says, should I change the title to Advice 2022 for the old one? You can absolutely do that. Like, one thing as part of housekeeping that I like to do on my channel, and I'm better at it for titles than I am for thumbnails, but I've done you know, pretty good at thumbnails, you know, over the years too, is I like to, at the turn of the year, because one thing that's strategic is if you are making like search-based content, one thing that can be really advantageous is that you kind of pre-seed some content for, you know, terms, and you kind of get people ready for what's coming up next year. So one thing that's
coming up.
Yeah.
It's almost that season.
That's why I'm mentioning it now.
Yeah, yeah.
So one of the things that that I do, and I made a video about this as well. So you should watch all of my videos if you can't tell. But I made a video about this as well, where it's basically about, you know, refreshing your channel in the new year. So what I do is, because, you know, sometimes I'll target you know, particular search terms with dates attached to them. So like, let's say, for example, how to grow on YouTube in 2024. Well, in 2025, that video becomes instantly irrelevant, but the content within, in terms of from the outside, but the content in there is still going to be relevant in 2025 as well, because not a lot has changed there. So what's going to happen is, once the new year switches over, or as it starts approaching, then, you know, I would go in and I would change that date in order to make sure that people aren't, you know, being, you know, you're seeing that number, you know, in the video. So I would just remove that from the title, maybe rework the title a little bit. So in your particular case, if you are trying to let people know, and you put that 2022 old one, and I'm just going to put this on the screen so, you know, everybody knows what I'm talking about. But like in your particular case, where you are going to put the title to 2022 for that old one, when you do that, then people will stop responding to that video, or the response, you know, will slow down. And when that response slows down, then that video will end up kind of being kind of sunsetted anyway, because people aren't really even going to respond to it. But then you got to look at the cost that comes with that in terms of the attention that's being brought to you and what it is that you offer in terms of value. So yes, somebody might come into that video and the information might not be exactly up to date. So because of that, you might do the thing to where let people watch the video, but as soon as you start talking about the thing that's out of date, or right before you do, that's where you would have a card come up that would direct them over to the new video and the new updated version. So then that way you still have the opportunity for them to, you know, come in, get to know you a little bit, see your content, get some information from you, find value from what it is that you do. And then once they get into the video, then for the people that see that notification and want to stay up to date with the new stuff, then they can click on your video, or they can click on that and then go and watch the new one from there, right? But if you put that 2022 on there, you're probably going to, you know, negatively impact that video as soon as you add that to the title. Let's see here. So next up, how to install a light bulb in 2024. Yep. Mave it to 2025. Yeah, you can do that sort of thing too. Like, you can change them. Yeah. Some people think that's shady, to where, you know, I don't either. Some people think it's shady to where you update the date to make it relevant. As long as the information is still relevant, then, you know, then the video is still relevant. So it really doesn't matter. The
mistake that I've made previously is, in the beginning of the video, I date it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm going to show you how to do this thing in 2023.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
Saying like this year and beyond and stuff like that is the move. Yeah,
right.
Totally.
So if you date, if you verbally date it in the video, I think that could cause a lot of people to click off.
Yeah.
Right. But if the only place you put it is maybe in your thumbnail, or maybe even your title, maybe not even your thumbnail at all.
Yeah.
Super easy to change.
I think I still have one video on my channel that has 2017 in the thumbnail.
I have some from like 2019.
Not sure if I've changed that.
Yeah, it's just out of date. I was like, you know what? It's not getting views really. And I just, you know.
It's kind of what that was.
It's out of date anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, let it.
Yeah. But yeah, that is a quick tip though, for you, just from learning it the hard way, is when you are making videos, try not to date those videos. If it's an evergreen piece of content, try not to date those videos, like Dee was saying, by, you know, avoiding saying the year and things like that. And then that makes your content just more relevant for longer periods of time when you don't do those sorts of things.
You can also just take the year off after that year's passed.
You're right.
But really, like, if you're like, how to change a light bulb.
I thought you meant take the year off of making videos.
Oh, no.
You mean
like,
just remove the year.
How to change a light bulb in 2025.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to 2026,
just go into YouTube editor and cut it out.
No, I mean on the title, just take it off.
Oh no, I was talking about
it's just how to change a light bulb.
I was talking about in the content itself.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Just like Beetlejuice.
Yep.
Listen, Daniel, we were talking about you earlier, and someone actually called you an elite creator.
Yep.
Those are the words they use.
Yep. Elite creator.
Elite.
We weren't going to say anything. Remember, we were like, "Hey, don't tell Daniel that they called him an elite creator."
They called him an elite creator. Yes,
and then Daniel comes in, and what does D do? Hey, Daniel, guess what everybody was saying?
Yeah,
D is one of those.
Yeah,
D is one of those. We had like a whole thing. We had like an agreement. Right?
We did. We had an accord.
Yeah, we did.
We had an accord, and I blew it.
Yep.
That's what happens when you get your eyebrows shaved off.
It is. Right? Everything starts unraveling. Yeah. It's like, how does the world work?
Right.
Yeah.
What is going on? I lost my eyebrows, Daniel.
Yep.
Yeah.
So next up, we got Mr. Glix. Mr. Glix, they upload when they have time, but on YouTube for a year or more, they do live gameplay stream. The goal of the channel says, I stream when I feel like to play PC games. I don't just play to stream. And the question is, Namaste, sir. Namaste. Says...
Namaste.
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 Namaste. Question is about views only, but a bit different. How can I get more viewers from my live streams? As of now... it's one count. That is me watching my stream to keep an eye on that it's working fine. So if you want to get more viewers on your live stream, first you got to make sure that you're packaging your live stream just like you would a video. And by packaging, I mean the topic of the stream in terms of what you're going to be doing, the thumbnail of the stream to help the people that you're trying to target identify that your content's about something they might care about. And then, of course, the title of the stream as well. A lot of people use templates, things like that. And because of that, it's not, super clear in a lot of cases what the actual content is about, and therefore people won't click on it when YouTube recommends it. But when it comes to live streams do get recommended to people on YouTube that might be a good fit for the content, but you got to tell YouTube what the content is going to be. And you do that through the title itself, through the description of that live stream. And then you also represent it through the thumbnail to help people, that you're trying to reach identify it. So first, make sure that you're packaging it correctly, even though it's a live stream, make sure that you are packaging it correctly for the people that you're trying to reach and that there is a clear value attached to it. So for example, right, you came into this live stream, this live stream's titled something around like getting views on your, how to get views on and subscribers for free. So you came in, based on that, and that we're going to be talking something about YouTube. In the thumbnail, I've got a big YouTube play button to help you identify that this has something to do with YouTube when you see it on your homepage. Okay. So those two things are a way that I can, help people understand what this is about when YouTube recommends it to them. Now, if I put Nimmin Live in my thumbnail, and then I had big Nimmin Live logo, or I had a big Nimmin Live logo in my thumbnail, and then my title said Nimmin Live, come join us now. In that particular case, there's no real context of what is going on. You have to already know what Nimmin Live is in order for that to be, important or relevant to you in any way, shape, or form.
That means nothing to no one unless they know who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to make sure that you're optimizing everything for, new people if you want new people to come in and participate. Now, step number 2 with that, because that's just the outside. Step number 2 is you have to, be giving a stream that does have some type of value attached to it, something. It can be entertainment to where, you're being entertaining. It can be informative. It can be like this where we're, doing the Q&A to kind of help people, better understand and navigate YouTube. You just need to add some type of value of what it is that you're doing so that as people do come in, based on what it is they see in the title and the thumbnail, when they do come in, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is cool. I can, participate here because you're already in motion. You're already, providing that value. Another thing to make sure that you are thinking about as well when it comes to the live streams is that you do have while you're live, which is, which you can have people come in from that, but then you also have the replay as well. Now, a lot of people overlook the replay when it comes to growing the live viewership. So the replay, for people that were not able to participate live, they can actually come in and get a taste of your live stream or just watch the whole replay. And then if they enjoyed themselves, then they might show up next time when you go live. So because of that, also making sure that you are optimizing the replay for people to be able to identify it and then making it, compelling in some way or some type of value so they can come in. And then when it comes to the live stream, don't ever start it and just like sit there. Don't ever start it, sitting there waiting for people to show up. Don't ever start it and have like a big countdown timer for like 2 minutes or anything like that. That's like the worst thing you can do on YouTube, because then when somebody hovers over it on the replay, you just see a countdown timer. Who cares about a countdown timer, right? You're not going to click on that. And then also when somebody comes in to the video, somebody that's never interacted with your content before on the replay, then in that particular case, they're going to have to skip around for 2 minutes in order to actually get to any content. So you're asking even more of that person when you're just introducing yourself to them. So you want to avoid those types of things. So what you want to do in order to capitalize on both ends is when you are going live, as soon as your live stream starts, start delivering content, right? Give what it is that you are offering from the outside, start providing that right away. Other things that you can do, especially if you're trying to, kind of increase things, is during your stream, and we don't really do this a lot here. I'll usually do this on other channels when I stream on other channels, but when you are streaming, also reintroducing what it is that you're doing and saying like, oh, hey, by the way, if you're just joining us, and then talk about what it is that you're offering. So if you do see new people coming in, saying those types of things can also be helpful for just kind of retaining those viewers, because instead of them coming in and going, what's going on? You're telling them like, hey, this is what's happening, right? When you see your numbers, you know, bump up a little bit. So do all of those things.
All the things.
Yep. Yeah, and also, like right here, Chantel says, you can trim the countdown timer for the replay, but you'll lose the entire live chat replay. Yeah, so you can do that too, but I just recommend that you don't use the countdown timer at all. There's no real reason for the countdown timer. People are like, well, I'm going to do the countdown timer so that it gives people time to know that I'm live streaming. So since I'm giving people this time to know that I'm live streaming, I'm going to spend this 2 minutes wasting everybody else's time that's already here or waiting for the stream to start or whatever. I'm going to spend this 2 minutes wasting all of their time, hoping that more people are going to come in while this countdown timer is going on. It's like the worst thing that you can do for the viewers, for your replay, for everything. Yeah. When it comes to like Facebook, stuff like that, it's a little bit different. But for YouTube, you don't want to do that. Another part of the particular countdown is when you are doing that countdown timer, again, you know, when it comes to that autoplay, I mean, you're just, you know, it's the kiss of death, so to speak, when it comes to the hover, when YouTube starts showing, you know, what's going on there as well. So yeah, just don't do it. It wastes everybody's time, doesn't add value to anybody. Instead of that 2 minutes, get creative. You're a creator, so get creative and think to yourself, okay, instead of wasting everybody's time that's already here, or the potential person that pops into the stream to be like, oh, hey, I wonder what's going on here, and they do click on it, instead of wasting that person's time for another minute, instead just be like, okay, what can I do for 2 minutes as a creative person in order to, you know, burn that same amount of time? So in our case, we introduce ourselves. We'll do some like sponsored stuff, things like that. We'll have a little bit of banter going on, those types of things. And all of that will eat up a lot of that time, a little bit more. And then by the time we get into the Q&A part, then like we've got all that stuff out of the way. We've got, you know, a decent amount of viewership here during the stream that we can start getting in and start delivering some value to people. So hopefully that helps.
I'm curious for everyone in here, if you watch replays of live streams, do you care or not? Meaning, do you actually go and read the chat in a live stream replay? Type in yes or no. For those of you who watch replays of live streams, do you actually read the chat, or are you just going back to watch and listen to? No. I don't. No. It seems like a big deal. People go, oh, don't cut out the chat. Like, I don't care. Yeah. But I'm curious what people do.
Yep. Yeah, Chantel reads the chat.
Of course, Chantel does. I mean,
you hear that, Chantel?
Of course she does. Let's see. We've got iCast Enterprise. Yes, no, yes, almost never. Yes, I read the chat. I read the chat sporadically. Daniel says, just watch. Yes. Oh, so it's a mixed bag. Yeah. The chat has many nuggets sometimes. I only read the chat if there's refer to link. Interesting, depending on my mood. Yeah, interesting. Nice.
Yeah, Learn Spanish World reads it too.
Yeah, of course they do. Nice. Yeah, so it's a mixed bag there. Mm-hmm. There you go. Yeah, I don't. I'm not.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I'm just
like,
hey,
the only time I will is if there's like a link or, you know, something like that where they're like, oh yeah, put this link to like whatever. Then in that case, yeah.
My habit as someone who consumes replays, because I know I can't interact. Yeah. So if I'm like, oh, okay, this was live, I'll usually listen to it while doing something else. So I'll put my ear pods in and I'll put the phone down. Like, say Daniel goes live, for example. I'm like, okay, I want to listen to that. I don't need to look at him because I know what he looks like. Right. I'm not going to read the chat, but I want to hear what he has to say. Yep. So I'll put my ear pods in and put the phone down, and maybe I'll go do dishes or clean the bathroom, whatever. So as I'm scrubbing the toilet, I get Daniel in my ear.
It's appropriate.
It's appropriate. Yeah.
It is. It's appropriate.
Yeah.
I kind of get a little bit off of that right there.
Yeah.
There we go.
Clean over here.
Oh,
yeah, so just so everybody knows, that's
Daniel's like, oh, come on, guys.
9 out of 10 times, if I'm cleaning, I'm listening to either a podcast or a replay.
Nice.
Or live stream replay. 9 out of 10 times.
Nice. So next up on the list, and D, we're on number 15 if you're paying attention.
Daniel says, I recommend not looking at me.
Nice.
Yikes. Well, I've got a picture taped on my bathroom wall right above the toilet. So just to make sure.
Oh, love it. So Derek J Reacts is our next one. They do daily content. It's a reaction channel. The goal of the channel says I react to body cam videos and point out the mistakes that people make that get them arrested in an effort to help people avoid those mistakes. The question is, I have a phrase that I've used in most of my videos. The plan is to put that phrase on my first set of merchandise. Would it be a good idea to copyright that phrase before I put out the merch? You can do that if you want to. That is definitely like, just being super, by the book, with that. You can do that. Some people do it. They trademark them. Is what it is. It's not a copyright thing. It's more of a trademark thing in that particular case. So you can do that. But, one, I think it's awesome that you are using that, repetitive language that people can, connect to. That's super smart. And everybody here should do that when you get the chance. But when it comes to trademarking it, that's totally your call on if you do want to go that route or not. But a lot of that you can just do it, online. So it's not, a ton of extra effort to in order to do that.
It's time consuming though.
Yeah,
to file
time consuming, but not a ton of extra effort.
Trademark. And you also need to think, is your slogan so
unique? It's got to be unique in some way.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things. One, is it so unique that people are going to steal it, and it's actually going to confuse people between your brand and somebody else's brand?
Right.
And other things with a trademark, like you're going to file a trademark based on your type of business. Mm-hmm. So what do they do for their channel?
I closed it already. Let's see here. They do reaction videos.
Mm-hmm. So let's say you have I don't know how you would even file for that. I don't know. But let's say I had an automotive company and I wanted to use the same slogan. I could use that slogan because I'm in a different industry. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. You can, but depending on what your intentions are, it could be more hassle. And it's not free to do that either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So next up, hey, and Chantel wants to know if they can expect some new Creator Mix tracks in 2025.
2025, you will. Yeah.
So next up, we've got Playing the Mom Game, and this is number 16D, if you're paying attention.
I am definitely not counting.
So Playing the Mom Game does bi-weekly content. The type of channel is women's clothing and a lot of Amazon stuff. The goal of the channel is to make money, and the question is, I'm attempting to turn a room in my house into a sort of studio. Okay, I think this is a tech question, D.
I'm doing that right now.
Yep. So it's a 10 by 13 room, and I'd like to make it look bright and like daylight, even if it's dark outside, so I can film anytime.
I just did that.
Hold on. I have 2 softbox lights and a ring light from Amazon, but no matter how I place them, it is never bright enough, and there's always awful shadows. I can paint the walls any color, and the ceiling is white, and there's a light carpet, so I feel I should be able to do it somehow. Are you able to suggest specific lights or a light setup that would make the whole room look nice and bright, or do you have a suggestion for someone to look up as this type of content? So D, if you want to take this, I'm actually going to pull up something on Amazon that I want to show, or B&H Photo or whatever. I'll just do Amazon to make it easy.
So
I'll do B&H.
Yeah, we just moved, and I wanted to build a little home recording studio, a little YouTube studio, and it's a tiny little closet of a room essentially, and all the walls are white. What you're probably looking to do, I'm guessing if you've got the ring light and the softbox, you're probably putting them all on yourself. You should probably get a bright light. Doesn't matter what it is, just a really bright light, and you want to bounce that light. Point it up at the ceiling. Put that light up. If you've got a white ceiling, you have white walls, that light is going to reflect all over the place. So get the brightest light that you can find. If you're trying to light up everything and bounce it off the ceiling, a couple of things is going to happen. As that light bounces, it's going to soften, and it's going to get rid of some of those shadows. Now, you might have to position that to figure out, because I don't know where your shadows are turned. I don't know what's causing your shadows. I don't know where your shadows are showing up. But if you're bouncing that, it's going to soften it and kind of put that light everywhere. You're putting a dome up on the screen right here. You could do something like that. Mm-hmm. Like he's putting on the screen right now.
Yeah, so this is called a lantern softbox. So with these, people use these to they'll put like one over here, one over here, one over there, and it just lights up the whole room. Yeah. People use that. Another thing is the camera settings too. Yeah, it's super important on the camera settings side.
The camera settings, right? But I just want to say this: if it's not in your budget to get one of these, you don't have to get one of these. Mm-hmm. I've shot. Matter of fact, our old setup here, if you remember, before we got this light, we did that. We had a big softbox
And we bounced it off the ceiling.
With a really bright bulb in it. I don't remember what the bulb was, but it was a really big, bright bulb. We turned the softbox upside down, and we placed it at an angle right up here and bounced the light off the ceiling, and it lit up this entire area.
Yep.
So think about bouncing the light to light up the room.
Yeah.
And Cat That says, should you turn off the main light in the room? If you have, it depends on your bulbs. You can turn them off, but depending on how your camera's set up, depending on the bulbs that you have, your bulbs could cause like put lines in your video. And if the light, okay, without getting too technical, every light has a different color. And to simplify this, you notice if you go into some places, some bulbs look white, some bulbs look yellow. Right? And there's an entire spectrum in between. So if you start mixing those colors, you can cause a problem for your camera. And not like a problem is going to break your camera, but you're going to have difficulty dialing in the right color that you want. So it's a good rule of thumb.
You have to manually wipe out.
Right, right. So it's a good rule of thumb to try to get bulbs that are all the same color. It's called, it's the Kelvin scale. Like 3,000 is going to be more yellow. Something around 5,500 or 55,000. 5,500 or 6,000 is going to be like white, like daylight white. So you're going to have to experiment with the color that you actually want. White, daylight white, is going to be more flattering on your skin, while something that has more of a yellow look to it is going to make you look more yellow. So.
Yeah, and one thing people do there, like if you are going to mix it, is you white balance for yourself,
right?
And then you can add the additional, like like the if you want to add something warmer to the background to kind of warm things up, things like that. Basically, you white balance for yourself, and then from there, then you would add like the warmer light practicals in the background for that sort of thing. But yeah, so shooting off the ceiling or getting those domes like I showed you, those can also do really good for lighting up the room. I got one of those for my place, and it lights up the entire. Like it was too much for me.
Yeah.
But like it really lights things up a lot.
They're in a small room.
Yeah.
10 by 13. That's not a big room.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you might not like that dome might be overkill for you.
Might be.
But you might just be able to get a nice strong light and just bounce it off the ceiling and just move it around.
Yeah.
The
advantage, really quick, the advantage if you do get the domes, though, or really even just with your soft boxes, if you're not wearing glasses, if you're wearing glasses, it becomes more complicated because you have to make sure whatever you're using is above your line of sight, or else you'll get reflections in your glasses. But if you're not wearing glasses, I mean, you can put the light just out of frame. You can put it right here, like right in front of yourself.
Yeah.
It just has to be out of frame so the camera doesn't see it, but it can be like close to you and all that stuff, just to ensure that it gets all the shadows and things like that you're trying to get rid of. You got to be careful with shadows though, because sometimes if you kind of overdo it, then it'll make things look a little bit unnatural too, as well.
Yeah, right.
So
like real life has shadows,
right?
So if you are trying to chase down every shadow on your set to try to get rid of it, you're going to drive yourself crazy, and it's really not necessary. Like, even if you look at like cinematic work in the movies, you want to look realistic. You're going to have shadows. You're going to have areas that are darker than others, and all of that change in lighting adds depth to what it is that you're making. So just figure out how to light yourself first and foremost. And then use additional lights, blast them off the walls, blast them off the ceiling.
This looks a little bit dark back here. What should I add in order to kind of fill the darkness up over here?
Yeah, I'm too lazy to film what I've been working on, trying to get reset up. But I have a key light, which is the main light that's lighting me up in the new place. I put Hue LED bulbs. I replaced my normal lights with Hue bulbs, and I put them up. But I turned the one on top of me off. But I use the one for filming. That's what I figured. But the one behind me, because I've got the white light in front of me, the daylight white, because that's going to look good on my skin. But behind me, I wanted to get a little bit moody, so I've changed that a little bit. Kind of added a little bit of yellow to that one behind me. I've got a lamp that I put like a 3,000 bulb in, so it's more yellow kind of lighting on the wall. Nice. I have some little LED lights bouncing off here and there to take care of them, like corner shadows. And it adds depth to the room. And is it perfect? No, but it's
the job done.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, Jerry says that me and my wife can't agree on color temperature for our living areas. I'm all about 5,500. So when it comes to your living areas, there's actually guides for that. So certain rooms there's preference, which trumps everything, obviously. But there are guides to where, like, for example, like your kitchen should be, like I think it's like 5,500 to like 6,500. The like living room, I think, should be somewhere around like the 3,000s, I believe.
Chill, and the same with the bedrooms and stuff like that.
So there's actually, you can hop online, you can find like guides to where it kind of breaks it down by room and what the preferred design standard is for individual rooms, just in case you need that. But I mean, preference, of course, is the most important. So next up on our list, we've got. Okay, we did playing the mom game. Yep. Okay, so that was the tech question there. So next up on our list here, we've got Gardening with Bear Brown. Gardening with Bear Brown does gardening content. The goal of the channel is teaching others how to grow food and go full time after retirement. Go.
Jerry says, guys, she's not right. Okay.
Oh yeah, she's not. She's absolutely not right.
Listen,
5,500 for life.
Yeah, it's 5,500. And you need to listen to Jerry because Jerry knows lights.
He knows.
Listen, nobody knows lights better than Jerry.
Jerry knows lights.
Jerry knows lights.
Yep. Like I know a lot of people that know lights, but Jerry knows lights.
Jerry
knows lights.
Jerry knows the lights.
You gotta do your hands.
Jerry's got the best lights.
Yep.
He knows all the lights. Nobody knows lights better than Jerry.
Yeah.
So listen to. I know a lot of people who know a lot of things.
Yep.
I know Jerry.
Yep.
And Jerry knows lights better than anybody I know.
Yep.
So if he says it's 5,500, it's 5,500.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to be that guy to bring that news to you.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. Feel free to clip that, Jerry, for your own,
There
purposes.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. PayPal. You got my PayPal, Jerry. Listen, if anybody else wants anybody to prove anything, now is the time. Because we're on a roll. Just listen. Just let us know what you want us to say, what we need to prove.
And we got you.
And we got you right now. Chantel says Jerry's wife deserves the truth. Jerry's wife, that was the truth.
That was the truth.
Listen,
there's one truth, and the truth is that Jerry knows the most about lighting.
Do not be deceived by Chantel.
Yep, by Chantel's misinformation.
That's right.
Chantel, Jerry.
Listen, Chantel is known in the lighting community as someone who spreads misinformation. She had a lighting channel. A lot of people don't know this about Chantel. She had a lighting channel on YouTube, and it was terminated. It was terminated for spreading misinformation about lighting. So if you're trying to get lighting information from Chantel, you're in for a world of hurt.
Oh, my goodness.
Jerry. Listen to Jerry. You don't listen to the Jerrys of the world. Don't listen to the Chantels when it comes to lighting.
Oh, man. This is great.
Yep. Anybody else? Right. Anybody else?
Yeah.
I can do this all day.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Clearly. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Let me get myself together here. Okay.
Yeah.
So next up, we're going back to Gardening with Bear Brown here. And they upload one time
Bear
per week
Brown
or more.
does the best gardening.
They
Nobody can run a garden like Bear Brown.
Yep.
Bear Brown gardens with the best of them. Listen, I've been all over the world. I've been in the highlands. I've been in the lowlands.
Seen gardens everywhere.
I've seen gardens everywhere. I've seen the best gardens in the world. Nobody can garden like Bear Brown gardens. He keeps the plants alive. Fun fact about me, I will kill your plants in 3 days flat. If you're like, hey, I'm going out of town.
Going out of town, come water my flowers.
I'm going out of
town.
Can you watch my plants? I'm just going to be gone for 3 days. Can you listen? Your plants will start to die as soon as you mention my name. I cannot keep it. Yeah. Listen, don't even think about me to come water your plants because they're not going to make it. They are not. It could be a cactus and I will kill it. I guarantee. Now, Bear Brown knows this about me. Bear Brown knows this.
Tish, what's going on? Hope you're doing awesome. All right. So, Bear Brown, back to Bear Brown. I'm trying to get through this Bear Brown.
The best gardener in the world. The best gardener in the world.
Best gardener.
Yeah.
The goal of the channel is teaching others how to grow food and go full-time after retirement. The question is, how do you start an email list? I hear it's important and I don't have one. I need to work on it. Thanks for help. So when it comes to email lists, you got to be careful when it comes to email lists. And the reason for that is because if you do start getting a lot of emails, but you're not using that list, then you end up having to pay money. In some cases, it can be lots of money depending on how much your email list gets or how big your email list gets. So because of that, if you are going to get into any type of email marketing around your YouTube channel, it's important to make sure that you do have a clear plan, get everything together so that as soon as you you set up your account, you can, start driving, traffic to that, particular list, and you already have everything in place to go ahead and start, getting those emails out. So, and I've learned this the hard way over a bunch of years. So when it comes to setting one up, all you have to do is go to a service like Aweber or, something like that. And when you set it up, all you have to do is you go into your Aweber. Well, so you're going to need a couple of things. One, you're going to need your account, either, Aweber. Some people use like ClickFunnels for this. You're going to have to pick one out of what it is that you're trying to do. But services like ClickFunnels, for example, they make it easy to build like web pages and things like that you're going to need in order to be able to capture somebody's email address. So what you do is you say, okay, I'm going to make this email address or this email capture. And that's the page that you're going to get people to put their email address in. But in order to get people to put their email address in, you need something in exchange. So you can say, sign up for my newsletter, and that can be effective if you're, if you have a reputation for being knowledgeable about something or something like that. That can work. But easier way to do it for people that maybe don't know you is to offer something in exchange. So in your case, it can be like a top 10 guide to gardening, right? Like my best gardening tips. Here's a whole document that I put together for this. It's a PDF download that you'll be able to download after you get your email. Once you get that, then you'll automatically be a part of my newsletter, right? So you give them something in advance that they can download right away. And that is kind of the incentive for joining the list. And then as a part of that list, they become somebody that is on your email list. So you go to some place like Aweber or ClickFunnels or something like that. You set up your account. With that, you need to get the code for, if it's like Aweber, you'll need to get the code, and then you'll need a web page somewhere. So you're going to have to get either like Wix or WordPress or something like that you would set up that you would actually embed that particular form into to where people can put in their email address. Again, if you use like ClickFunnels or something like that, then a lot of that stuff is already attached to it. Then you would just deploy the page. Another thing you're going to need a URL. You're going to need some place where people can actually go that you can point to that particular page. So for this, you can go to like GoDaddy, you can go to, Namecheap, you can go to DirectNick. There's a huge list of, places where you can get domain names, but you get a domain name that would send people to that particular page so that in your YouTube videos, you can say, I got a link to it down in the description. And then when they click on that link, or you could say it in the video. And then when they go there, then they'll go to whatever your, gardeningwithbearbrown.com as an example. And then on that particular page, they would see that email offer. And then from there, you will see that they will see whatever it is that you're offering. And then they'll see the boxes to actually input their information in exchange for the email. Now, a few quick tips for you. Typically, you convert higher when it comes to emails if you only get the email address without the name and without the first name and last name. So try to make the form as least complicated as you possibly can. So it's normal to ask for a first name, but when it gets to the last name, that's where you start kind of crossing those boundaries in terms of hurting your conversions a little bit. So having the first name is okay if you're going to send out personalized emails, which is when you set up the service. As part of those personalized emails, you can actually add like a little token of sorts. It's just a little bit of code to your a snippet of code, like it'll say like name with like a couple of bars around it. You put that as part of your email template that you'll be sending out, and then that way when they get the email, it'll be like, hey Nick, and then whatever else it is that you're going to include in that email. But if you don't want to do that, then in that particular case, that's where you would just collect the email itself. But once you get the domain name that you can send people to, you have the offer in terms of what they will get. You have the option to where when you're setting up the process itself, you're going to set up the opt-in page, and then you're also going to set up the thank you page. So the thank you page thanks them for signing up for the email, newsletter or whatever offer it is that you have. So when they hit that email or that thank you page, you can either embed the thing right there. You can also have the option to where you can say, hey, you're now signed up. We're going to be you'll also receive a newsletter at these particular intervals, whatever, offering this particular gardening advice or whatever. The download link to that thing that you signed up for is actually now in your email, so go check that out as well. But you set all of that stuff within the email service that you're using. What are you looking for?
I don't know. I just saw like a light flicker somewhere.
Oh, it's right over here.
What?
So look at the lamp up there, right next to your softbox.
Oh, interesting.
That's been flickering like the whole time.
Okay. Savvy Turtle, man. Hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you in a long time.
Hey, what's going on? Hope that you're doing fantastic.
Yep. Hope you're doing well. Jeremy Chapman dropped super chat. Says Team 55 okay for life. Thanks for the laughs. And you also have another super chat from Stitches Gonna Snitch that says thanks for the realness.
Super chat.
I hate when step one is build an email list and a lead magnet and spend money on a service before you're even making money.
Yeah, so it's good to do the service or like figure out what you're going to give them first, and then like get all that stuff in place, and then start. But a lot of the services now, they have it to where they'll let you build up to like a certain number of email subscribers before they start charging you. So you can look for that. Also keep in mind that even though it can be a little bit complicated or kind of a pain to do, you also have the option to where you can say, okay, I'm going to have my, I'm going to use a free service, as I'm getting started, I'm going to use somebody's free plan. But then once I get 1,000 subscribers on that list and then they start charging me for it, then I'm going to start shopping around for like the best deal based on exactly what it is that I'm offering and all those types of things. And you can always transfer that stuff as well. So just keep that in mind. And once you have that list, you've got that list, right? Jesse St. Louis, what's up, man? He says ConvertKit is free. So yeah, so with them, I don't know if it's like a plan or how. Okay, so it's a 10,000 newsletter plan on Kit. I don't know if that's ConvertKit or Kit. So yeah, so we got some different feedback coming in from different services that you can use, but hopefully that gives you the option there. But yeah, if it's 10,000, like Doug said, that's pretty sweet, and that gives you like a really good lead. And if you have 10,000, then you should be able to make enough money off of that list to at least pay for itself. From that point. So next up on our list, while D's fixing the flickering light over there, and D, by the way, just a heads up, we're on number 18 in case you're paying attention. It's Bats for Brains is the name of the channel. They upload one time per week or more. They've been making videos for a year or more. The type of channel is horror analysis, and the goal of the channel is to stoke thoughtful analysis on human emotion. And the question is, you mentioned one-take videos earlier. I pride myself on doing one-take videos because I'm aware that this is something that helps me stand out. However, when I want to include relevant B-roll, I end up placing that B-roll in the corner of my video so the viewer can continue to see me do the one-take. Think newsacres with an image video rolling just next to their face. Do you think that I'm placing too much emphasis on my ability to one take by showing a mini version of the relevant B-roll on the screen instead of allowing the B-roll to take up the entire screen? So here's just kind of my thoughts on that. If you can crush the one take, then and you're getting a good response, then in that particular case, that's a win. And if people are responding to you how you're currently doing it, then it's a win. One thing that I would definitely do, though, is I would experiment with filling up the screen with the B-roll and just see if you notice a difference. Because, even when because you gave a news reference here with like news anchors, and they do have the thing where they pop up, with like the little window, next to them over here, but they also go full screen and show B-roll there as well. So, just mixing it up in the edit itself is definitely something to experiment with and see if you can find a pattern of like, okay, I start here with me, then I add this, and then that gives them something to look at. Then I go to like a full screen, then I move that and kind of slide myself over, and then I'm sitting there talking again, and then I slide myself over here and then show something over on this side. But basically, just kind of try to figure out that pattern that people, are, that keeps people engaged so that they can continue watching your videos. Because, you might be like so focused on the one take thing that you might be hurting the performance of the videos in terms of how people are responding to them, or they could be responding awesomely to how it is that you're currently doing it. But I would definitely just pay attention to how people are responding to what it is that you're doing. And I'm actually just going to take a quick gander at your YouTube channel so I can see here. Okay, you're just getting started. You got 3 videos. So yeah, so with what it is that you're doing, I would definitely continue doing what it is that you're doing, see if you get a response. But if you find that like, okay, I've been doing this for a little bit and people aren't responding to this, then in that particular case, I would look into, just pay attention to your audience retention reports. It's a second-by-second report that we get on all of our YouTube channels for every video that we make that shows us how people respond to what we're doing. Pay attention to that. That's going to tell you how people are responding to the one take. And in addition to that, you have a drop down in that same area that shows compared to other videos. That shows you how competitive you're being within the system. So that shows you how you compare to other videos of similar length on the platform, or of the same length on the platform. So if you notice, if you change it to that and you notice, and you don't have a lot of views right now, so a lot of this you're going to have to wait until you do get some higher views. But when you do switch it to that, one of the things it's going to show you is another line that's going to show you, okay, are you being, above in terms of how people are responding to this content compared to other videos of the same length, or are you under? And then that starts to let you know, like, okay, I'm underperforming here, or I'm underperforming in these parts of the video, so what can I do to try to do these better, right? And then you might have to start, modifying things. So, again, with doing the one take thing and kind of committing to that right now, I think it's cool. I think it's cool because, one, hopefully that'll help you get really good at doing one take, content. And there's tons of content creators that do that, and they do amazing at it, and people do respond to them. But there is, kind of an art to it. So because of that, I would just pay really close attention to your audience retention reports and just make sure that people are responding to you in the way that you're, hoping that they'll respond. And if not, then be open to modifying things. Like, one of the awesome things about B-roll is that it does give you the opportunity to where, if you're like, oh, I messed up that part of the video, I needed to kind of restart, to where it can help you tighten things up a bit, and it can help you just cover up mistakes. So to the viewer, it still seems like a one take, and they don't know, any difference, and really nobody cares, right, if it's a one take or not. But it helps you cover up mistakes also, B-roll does. Fishcamp TV, thanks for the super chat, says, will we get blogger traffic from Hype if we hit #1? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm really not sure. And in terms of like hitting #1, I'm not even sure what that looks like right now. When it comes to that, I'm not really sure. And D, did you get Stitches Gonna Stitch? Did you get Stitches Gonna Stitch super chat? By the light? Okay. So Stitches Gonna Stitch, thank you for the super chat. Says, thanks for the realness. I hate when step one is build an email list and lead magnet and spend money on a service before you're even making money. Yeah. So using one of those free options, for getting started up to that first 1,000 or 10,000, those would be a great place to start. So you don't have to like really stress out about it. But like when it comes to the domain name, stuff like that, I mean, you can get those for like, I think, like on Namecheap, for example, I think you can get like your first year on domains for like $9 or something like that. So, for 2 coffees, right? Or a really fancy coffee, one really fancy coffee, you can get those. So next up on the list, we did Bats for Brains, number 19D. Pristine gameplay walkthroughs, uploads 1 time per week or more that do gaming content. The goal of the channel is to build a gaming audience. The question is, should I post more if my YouTube analytics tends to spike at a certain hour? No, just publish your videos and, post around that time when, your viewers are online, post around that time so that you can get it in front of them while they're online for that initial, surge. And then from there, just let the videos, do their thing. So, if you make good content, that content's going to live on YouTube for a long time, and you are going to be able to get views on that content. It might be a lot of views every day. It might be a few views every day. It might be views every few days, whatever, but you'll continue getting views on that content over time. So because of that, just focusing on making great content, publishing it while your viewers online, just do those things, and you'll be okay. Let's see here. Next up on the list, we have... Oh, we did gameplay walkthroughs already. So Living in Diz, they do daily content. The goal of the channel is to share Disney World with as many as possible. The question is, we're looking for a great resource for mobile streaming mentoring. We're now attempting to use SRT and can't find a great YouTube mentor that specializes in mobile. So D actually has an entire channel that at one time was focused on mobile. Right now, I'm not sure, like, he's helping, I think right now he's helping people with like CapCut, I think. But at one time he was totally focused on mobile content creators. But now, not so much. So because of that, I'm not sure of a content creator out there right now, actually, that focuses solely on. D, do you know any other mobile focused content creators? Yeah, just for content creators that focus on people that are making content with their phones. Yeah, but he does a bunch of stuff though, right? So for that, I'm not really sure like who to send you to for that particular situation. So I would just hop in YouTube search and see if you can hunt somebody down there. Let's see here. Next up. So really quick, Snazzy Vegan Life says, thank you for sharing in your community tab about Creative Fuel. Been using that and it's super helpful. Yeah, awesome that you are enjoying that tool. Yeah, so just in case you don't know, there is a new tool that's out. It's called Creative Fuel, and it's made by the previous founders of TubeBuddy. And it's an ideation tool. So if you're somebody that has trouble coming up with video ideas, something like that, you have trouble coming up with video ideas, or you just want to make better video ideas and better titles, check out creativefuel.ai. Awesome tool. I'll be making a video about it soon, but it's a really cool tool you should check out. Renee says, did Nick put D out in the timeout corner? He's actually fixing a flickering light over there, Renee. So he'll be back here in just a few. So next up, we've got Vangerwort. Quick Virtual Travel is the name of this channel. The type of channel is simple travel channel, holding camera and walking around. The goal of the channel is for my own enjoyment and as a way to capture nice travel memories. And I'm happy if others can use my videos to help plan their travels. The question, which is better? SEO optimized title, for example, hidden games in Belgium, visit Village XXX, or straightforward ones, virtual walk in Village XXX. So both of them have a purpose. So it's important to think about where you want your viewers to be responding to you from. So if you're trying to get more recommendation traffic, then that virtual walk in the Village might be, the path there. Definitely worth experimenting. If you're trying to be a resource for people that are looking for something very specific in YouTube search, then optimizing for search would be the move on that one. And the difference, or another thing I should say, is that there's more involved than just thinking about the title. You also got to think about the content and what exactly it is that they're going to get. So for example, if you are making a search-based video, and that video is about, what should people, see when they go to, this area, then in that particular case, you want to make sure that when they click on that video, if you're optimizing for that, that you're just kind of reinforcing that idea. Hey, I'm going to show you, these, different places that you need to make sure that you check out if you come to this particular area, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to work showing those people those particular things, right? So you're packaging and how you're framing everything with your thumbnail and your title, it also needs to work well with what it is that you're actually providing in the video. So just make sure that you are doing that. But both of them have their purpose. So what you need to do is think about where you're trying to get views from, and then optimize based around that in terms of the content itself and how you're actually packaging up that content. If you were not here earlier, I actually had a good explanation about the difference with examples, the difference between targeting YouTube search versus targeting the recommendation system. And the whole, in a nutshell version is when it comes to targeting YouTube search, you make videos about things that people are searching for. And then when it comes to recommendation features, you have to think about people logging into YouTube, not having any idea what they're going to watch, or they have an idea what they're going to watch, but then you have to be able to capture their attention. So because of that, you have to, do things in very specific ways in order to do that. But I talked about that in detail about an hour ago. One Step, thank you for the super chat. Says, you advise me to upload videos 1 to 3 minutes as both long form and shorts from now on. Won't YouTube see that as duplicate content? Thanks for all that you do. So if you are making the video in the regular the 16:9 ratio, and you have the content there, and then you kind of remix that content for the vertical side, then in that particular case, no, because you're providing 2 totally different offerings, and you're offering them in different formats too. So like, let's say for example, you have, like in my case, let's say that I have a video where I'm sharing 5 YouTube tips in 3 minutes. Well, in that particular case, I would edit the video in the 16:9 version. But then when I make the version that I'm going to drop into YouTube Shorts, I would modify it a little bit. And the reason I would modify it a little bit is so that it's not the exact same thing, because I would want the edit to be a little bit different. Maybe I would share 1 tip different in that compared to what I did in the video content. It'd probably be the first one. And the reason for that is because again, you always got to think about the viewers first. So it's not necessarily to just avoid, uploading the same thing. It's more about, okay, if you watch my long form video and you're like, hey, this is a pretty cool video, but then it shows up in YouTube Shorts as like a 3-minute video, then in that particular case, if you have already seen it, then you're going to be like, oh yeah, I've seen this already, and you're just going to skip out. So if you do something a little bit different with that content, then in that particular case, you are providing a little bit of a different value. So what I'm meaning when I'm saying to do like the same thing but 2 versions of it is like, while you're making the content, just try to throw in some stuff that you would be able to use in the edit for one or the other to make it a little bit different. So you create something that's a little bit different. Let's see here. But even if you were uploading, the same thing or something, similar, even with that, like, I wouldn't be uploading like 1 to 3 minutes as both long form and short form. Like, I would be thinking of it more of like, okay, I'm going to upload, maybe, a 5-minute video is long form or a 4-minute video is long form. But if I'm going to do that, 3-minute video, if I do have it to where I am going to do a short, I'm still going to shoot it in landscape so that I can also, make a variation of it for, long form as well, or for the 16:9. Let's see here. Salon guy, you got to send me a DM, man. You got to send me a DM. Don't send me a tweet. You got to send me a DM. Because because like a tweet, like I'm not looking for those. Like you got to send me a DM so you hit my inbox. So next up, we've got Houston Neighborhoods, Carmelita Black Realtor, brokered by XP Realty LLC. That's a super long channel name.
That's a channel name?
Yeah, super long channel name. So
Hear
just
me
a
out.
quick, go D, go.
Hear me out.
Go.
Say it again.
Houston Neighborhoods, Carmelita Black Realtor, brokered by XP Realty LLC.
Okay, this isn't the Yellow Pages anymore. That's a really long channel name.
Yeah.
That's not necessary.
Yeah.
Think of a channel name that's going to be really easy for someone to remember. Mm-hmm. Imagine, and someday this might actually happen if it hasn't happened already.
Carmelita Black.
Right. Carmelita Black Real Estate. Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Easy.
Imagine you're on a podcast and somebody says, can you tell our listeners how to find your channel?
Yep.
And if you tell them your current channel name, they're not going to write that down, and they're not even going to remember it. Yep. So think of something that's more memorable, something that people can repeat, something that people can tell their friends about, a channel that they found, and something that isn't so, like you saw our as soon as he said it, we're both like, whoa, well, it's too long. But you do you. If you stuck on that name, run with it. But that's a difficult name, really difficult.
So the question is, or the goal of the channel is real estate, Houston neighborhoods, and new construction is a type of channel. The goal is to help share new home communities for new home buyers, but I want to change the focus to help more veterans understand the benefits of buying a home in Texas and living in Texas. Question, my channel is growing subscribers slowly. I would like to get more subscribers and more veteran clients. So when it comes to subscribers, one thing that you have to remember is that people subscribe because they want more, right? They want more of the content that they're enjoying. If somebody's participating in a real estate channel that is showcasing new homes, in that particular case, they might get a new home or they might find what it is that they want or whatever, but that particular cycle is going to be really short. So because of that, there's no real reason to subscribe if all you're doing is showcasing like new homes, right? So yes, you're saying that you want to focus more to help viewers, veterans, understand the benefits of buying a home in Texas. So in that particular, and living in Texas, so in that particular, situation, the type of content that you're going to need to make for that isn't going to necessarily garner like people being like, oh, this is great. I definitely want to subscribe because I definitely want to see more of this content, right? So because of that, like you're like the channel that you have is more of a utility channel to help bring attention to your real estate business. I mean, that's really, what's going on there. So because of that, it is important to just make sure that you are making content for them. And in your particular case, I would make search-based content that gets you in front of people that are looking for information around Texas. Lean on the search terms and phrases that people are using to find content for, maybe elderly people or, and I'm just using elderly because I know there's elderly veterans. I know every elderly person or every veteran isn't elderly, but basically, making videos for those particular search terms, making videos for anything related to anything veteran related as it relates to real estate, so that then that gives you the opportunity when people are looking for that for you to show up there. That'd be the approach that I would take. You know, maybe that would work for you or maybe not, but that would be the approach that I would take in order to get myself in front of that particular audience. And I would not focus on subscribers at all. I would focus on, you know, search-based content so that I can get that content out there. And as long as people respond well to the content, then when people are looking to solve these particular problems or for information about moving to Texas and so on, that my videos would be one of the videos that show up there. And then that would introduce people to me so that hopefully they would work with me when they come to Texas.
There you go.
Dee,
and
will you cover this for just a second?
Yep, I sure can. Okay. So I'm going to talk to Carmelita here for a second, talking about the name. So the name that's showing up here in the chat is Houston Neighborhoods Carmelita Black Realtor. Now that all fits here, but just think of something. You can even do like Carmelita Black Houston Realtor, Carmelita Black Realtor. But you also have an About Me section on your channel where you can, it allows you, so if you look on a phone or if you look on a desktop computer, it will have, I don't know how many characters actually show up there. You're going to have to experiment and see. But you can put a little tagline in there. You could be more descriptive about what that is. And that will show up without having to, people actually having to click on it to go further. Or you can put that sentence there that fits. It says that you're a Houston realtor. Focusing on Houston neighborhoods, etc. But then once you tap into that, you have an entire section where you have About Me that you can fill out all of this information about who you're targeting, where you're targeting, especially if you're targeting veterans, like if that's primarily what you're trying to do. So you can add all that to your About Me. Also, use that same information in your description, like Nick was just talking about, trying to target certain types of users. Make sure that you have some of that in your title and make sure that you're writing that out in your description as well. You want to give YouTube as much information as you can about your video if you're targeting a very specific type of person in a very specific region. Would you recommend that they turn on their geolocation on that since they're targeting specifically for Houston?
Well, they said that they're trying to get people to Texas also.
You're trying to get people to come to Texas.
Yeah. So because of that, you know, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Right. If you're only in Texas and you're only targeting people in Texas, I would think about turning that on.
That makes a little bit more sense, right. But even still, I probably wouldn't. But it definitely makes a lot more sense in that particular case.
But if you're targeting and trying to bring people to Texas, then I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, a couple other things too is also, you know, like if you are targeting veterans specifically, make sure that that's crystal clear in your channel art and all of your channel messaging. When you are, you know, in your videos and you get through the part about what it is that you're going to be sharing with them, I would do a quick drop of, you know, hey, you know, I'm Carmelita. I help veterans, you know, move to Texas, you know, without, you know, any friction or whatever your thing is, right? But basically just a super fast, you know, thing of that you specialize in that. And then at the end of your videos, I would also say something along the lines of, you know, like after your end screen is already up and they have the option to click on additional videos, one of the things that you might want to consider there is also saying at the very end, and hey, by the way, if you have a veteran friend that's considering moving to Texas, make sure you know, send them my way, or send them to my YouTube channel, or, you know, however you want to frame that. But the idea is to, you know, share that information as they're coming into the video so they know that your content's for them. And in addition to that, you have that call to action at the end of where if somebody does get to the end of the video, that they can, you know, that they know that you're, you know, helping veterans and therefore to kind of help you spread the message. Let's see here. So, super chat came in here, actually two of them, actually one super chat from Oliver PR. Thanks for the super chat. Oliver says, any insider info about YouTube courses and when they will be released for all creators? I think right now it's still in that kind of experimental, stage. I know that it's coming, but I don't have, you know, a specific date or anything like that. I think Renee mentioned that like a few streams ago in terms, because somebody else asked that question too, but I can't remember the response to that. And Oliver PR, welcome to the membership as well. When you get the chance, go to NimminVIP.com. That's going to redirect you to the members-only Facebook group. We also have a Discord as well. But if you go to that, make sure you fill out all the information that I ask for in the Facebook group that's I verify you're a member. If you can do that before the stream's over, I can get you in there when the stream is done today. Same thing with you, CJ. Same exact thing. Welcome to the Nimminati. Make sure that you do go to the NimminVIP.com so that we can get you into the group and or the Discord. You know, your call. You have access to both after the stream is over today. Let's see here. So next up on the list, so D, we are on number Number 24.
I'm not paying attention, so it doesn't even matter.
The channel is Life with Lucia and Glenn. They do daily content. The type of channel is travel and food. The question is, what do you think about the new YouTube features that were dropped on 10/16/24? Yeah, I don't know exactly which features you're talking about.
I think they were fantastic. I wish it would have been a little bit more clear rolling them out, because then we know what we were talking about.
Right. No, like in terms of like the new YouTube features, I think it's cool that they're doing the longer shorts, because then that gives them the opportunity to be able to gives creators, that need that extra time and that want to hit the vertical, or that want to hit the short shelf. It gives them the ability to do that. In addition to that, if you're somebody that makes content for TikTok and you're like, this is kind of sucks because, I make, videos that are like 3 minutes long and under for TikTok, but I can't put those onto YouTube Shorts because they're 60 seconds. Now you have the option to do that, which I think is also, fantastic, because then that's going to, and this is probably part of the play, but this is going to allow people that do upload that longer form content to like Instagram and TikTok and all that to be able to repurpose it over to YouTube. So I think that's a good move on YouTube's part, but I think it's also good for the creators that get to take advantage of that opportunity. And I think that by doing that, it's also going to get more content creators just in general that are interacting with those platforms, but not YouTube. I think it's going to get a lot more of those people to come over to YouTube, see the value here, get kind of pulled into the YouTube culture that we all love, and want to be a part of that at a higher level. And then I think that will also encourage them to start making longer form content, regular content as well. I think that that's going to happen at scale also with that particular move. So I think that's great. In terms of most of the YouTube features, almost everything they put out is beneficial in some way. Some of it has some, weirdness to it. But most of the stuff that they do put out is, pretty solid. It's helpful, usually in one way or another for content creators. So because of that, I'm going to say that, whatever they put out recently, I'm pretty on board with, pretty much everything. How about you, D?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the YouTube shilling portion of our live stream. Moving on to the next question.
Oh, love it. So next up, so what are your thoughts on the new features? Like just any of it? Like what do you think?
Hey Heidi, how you doing? It's a no-brainer. YouTube is going to always add new features.
Right.
Just like for us as creators, they're also going to be moving things around for the viewer.
Yep.
That's what they do.
The interface is going to change.
Right. They're constantly A/B testing things to try to get things laid out better for the viewer and for us, adding new tools for us to make life easier for us to help connect with our audience. I think it's great.
Yep.
Is everything going to work? Is everything going to work? No.
Right.
But they have,
and there's going to be some stuff you're not even going to use.
Yeah. Some of it's going to work. Some of it's not going to work. Some of it's going to be great. Some of it's going to be like, well, that was a complete waste of time.
Yep.
And they're probably going to retire some of those features too.
Yep.
I know they try things, they don't work, and they just kind of sunset them and they just kind of disappear.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's great. Here's what we would all be complaining if they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Because we don't why don't they just try this thing? Well, they have a team of engineers who try things. Mm-hmm. Some of them work, some of them don't.
Yep.
But they're trying.
Mm-hmm. Crazy Pickle, what's going on? Welcome to the stream.
But I wish they would call me first and be like, hey, yo.
D, what do you think we should do?
We've got this idea. And then we could run it past all of you. We could do like a collective brainstorming. It's like us, you, and a team of YouTube engineers, and we could all workshop what their new ideas are going to be for the platform moving forward. And I think collectively, we could probably steer this website in the right direction and make it successful for once.
Mm-hmm.
Finally make it successful.
Yep.
With the help of all of us.
Yep.
Otherwise, they're doomed
Finally.
for failure.
That's funny. Love it. Love it.
Finally.
Okay, so next up on the list here, we got DIY Microbiology. They upload when they have time. K&J Lumber Products. The Discord is members only. So we used to have it just open, but in terms of just like managing it and stuff, it's just too much. So we closed it down to members only. So they upload when they have time, been on YouTube for a year or more. The type of channel is DIY. The goal of the channel is to share. And the question is, my most viewed video has a bad thumbnail and bad video have better thumbnail. How do I fix that? Hold on, let me read that again.
Yeah. Reading is hard.
My most views video have bad thumbnail and bad video have better thumbnail. How do I fix that? Okay. So if your most viewed video has a bad thumbnail, then it probably wouldn't be your most viewed video, would be my guess. But basically, in order to change your thumbnail, as long as it is long form or 16:9 ratio content on the main side of YouTube, in that particular case, you can just log into your Creator Studio on an app. So YouTube has the YouTube Studio app that everybody here should have installed.
Your phone has a tail. What is that?
Oh, it's just a cable.
Oh, okay.
So you should have the it's to charge my phone. So you should have the Creator Studio app installed for just little things like this. If you catch something on the fly, like, oh my gosh, I didn't notice that video I published, 3 weeks ago had that I missed a letter in the title. Then you can just quickly, change those types of things. Technically, you can do it in the YouTube app as well. But if you're on a computer, then in that particular case, you can go in through the Creator Studio and you can go in and change the thumbnail there.
The Artist Haven. Hey, Tish, how you doing? Nice to see you. Sue Kurtz, how you doing? Nice to see you. Bud, nice to see you. Houston and Neighborhoods, Carmelita, dropped super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the super chat there. Appreciate it.
Tish says, I'll be impressed when they finally allow mobile tagging. Okay, so from this day forward.
Hey, Renee mentioned he's working on it. He said he badgers them all the time about it.
From this day forward, whenever anyone asks, so what do you think about YouTube's new features? That's the answer.
That's the answer. They'll be great once they add tagging to live streams.
Yes.
Okay, I'm down for that.
Yeah, YouTube features are going to be fantastic when they allow mobile tagging. Until then, I'm a South going Zax. Unmovable.
Love it. Okay, so next up, I'll probably forget that within the next 5 minutes, but I'll try.
What's that?
Yeah, for that to be the response.
No, that has to be the response. Yeah. So I'll just flip the table over if you don't remember. Just
full tantrum. So B2C Build TV, they upload 1 time per week or more, been on YouTube for less than 1 month. Hey, welcome to YouTube. Welcome to the creator side of YouTube. It's like a totally different world over here. Welcome aboard. The type of channel is auto restoration, mechanic, and building stuff. And the goal of the channel says, I want to record my passion and share my knowledge of 2 decades to everyone and leave something for my family to remember me or watch after I die. And the question is, why the YouTube Shorts still 60 seconds? I uploaded a longer video under 3 minutes and it doesn't upload it as a short. Thanks. So on the 15th, the whole move there, and there's a little miscommunication that kind of went on there because people were expecting hey, 15th, then they're going to start, rolling this thing out. And they are rolling it out, but it's just not, hitting the way that people thought. And the reason for that is because they have to make adjustments on their end. There's a whole algorithm involved with, YouTube Shorts, and they're kind of, slowly tweaking things over there as the longer content's moving in. But YouTube put out in their latest Creator Insider video, which again, if you are a YouTube content creator, you should be subscribed to the Creator Insider channel. It's inside of your YouTube dashboard. You should, subscribe to that channel so you can stay up to date with this stuff, or just hang out here because we always let you know anyway. But basically, when it comes to the full rollout, they're saying that it should be finished by the end of November. Right now, there is some weird stuff going on to where, you post it, and if you expect it to go into the Shorts feed, it's actually still hitting, your regular, viewers as a regular video. It's just vertical right now. So it's definitely a clunky rollout. It's definitely weird in terms of, how the whole thing has been deployed, but it's how it is, right? So yeah, we want it to be, different. We want it to be like, hey, on this day we start publishing and we can just kind of flood things, and then, it kind of works that way. But it didn't work that way. So we know that now, and we know that the complete rollout is going to happen by the end of November. So because of that, you can start publishing some content, and they are, I'm seeing Shorts feed views from longer videos now that are vertical. So they are getting them in there, but it's going to be fully ready by the end of November. So you can, kind of take that swing if you want to. But in my opinion, I think that it is, a little bit premature in terms of, uploading that, vertical content. If it's like a main channel, then in that case, I think that uploading that content right now isn't the best move at this moment in time. If it's on your main channel, if it's on some type of, bonus channel that you have, to where you upload, clips or, something like that, then in that case, I think it's okay. As long as that's what that channel's for. So then that way it's like, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to hit some of these, and then, I'm going to, get some of those over into Shorts too. That's fine. And you can also put, thumbnails on them and stuff, just like you can regular videos right now. But I wouldn't necessarily do that on the main channel. Next up on our list here, we've got Film School Dad. And D, in case you're keeping track, this is number 27.
All right, taking notes over here.
And Film School Dad has been on YouTube for less than a year. They do film reviews and speculation. The goal of the channel is to share my love of cinema and foster a community of like-minded individuals. The question is, I've made a video about the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. I was attempting to optimize for browse and search, but interestingly, I've gotten almost no search traffic at all, only 14 search results. I did well in browse, just over 3,000 browse views in a day. I'm very happy with these results, but I was a bit confused as to what I could have done to better optimize for search. Also, or am I being silly? So what's happening right now is actually
how many people
good.
are searching for that though?
Yeah.
Right.
So what's happening so what's happening right now is actually good because most of the traffic on YouTube, most of the views on YouTube actually come from their recommendation features, which is YouTube recommending content for people to watch. So YouTube has found that right audience for your viewers. They are putting your content in front of them and they are responding well to it. So therefore, you're getting that love from YouTube's recommendation system. When it comes to optimizing your videos for search, just because you optimize them for search doesn't mean that they're going to immediately show up in search, or it doesn't mean that they're even going to end up getting a good result in search, because search is competitive just like the recommendation system is. And everything in search is based on how people respond to content in search. So let's say somebody does look for 2001: A Space Odyssey is what they're looking for in YouTube search. You might be in the results somewhere, but in order to be in the top spots for search to where you can really capitalize on that, massively, then in that particular case, people have to respond to your videos better than the results that are already there. So because of that, it could just be that your videos just aren't kind of cutting the mustard, so to speak, at this moment in time there. And it is also possible that your video will rise over the ranks over time there. If they, test you in those spots, you end up doing well. But the fact that you are getting the recommendation traffic, I would just lean into that. And then by leaning into that, you're giving yourself the opportunity to be able to, really, get the fast views when it comes from, the recommendation system, which is where a majority of the views come from anyway. And D, that is a wrap for questions.
Really?
Yep. Great timing too. Yep. So that gives us a little bit of time to kind of, take some questions out of the chat.
Yep. Hey, Nikki, how you doing?
And then we'll go from there. So Daniel Batal says, I uploaded a short over 60 seconds long, and it definitely got shorts feed traffic. What I didn't like is it sent out notifications, which shorts don't do at publishing, so definitely turn them off. Yeah, so with notifications, Daniel, they actually mentioned that with your longer, short content, that even once it goes into the short shelf, that people are still going to get notified for those.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. So that was in the Creator Insider video. So basically, when you publish a longer short, even if it's for the short shelf, it's still going to end up sending out notifications for the people that have all notifications turned on. So they have to have that in order for for them to get notified of it. But they will get notified of it even if it goes into the shorts feed, according to the Creator Insider video. So I don't know if they'll change that once it is fully rolled out by the end of November. But according to that particular, content from them, that's going to continue to happen.
So we're going to take questions out of the chat right now. So if you have a question, type question.
Yep, we're going to call this the lightning round, which means we're going to try to answer the questions as quickly as possible. So that's where my brain's at right now.
Fastly.
So
he's got
starting
the best.
to fade.
He's got the best words.
Right.
He knows all the words.
The best words. Yeah. I know a lot of people that speak a lot of words, but he's got the best ones. So
good luck, Americans. Listen,
right?
You've got an election coming up,
Good
Americans.
luck. Go vote.
I wish you the best of luck.
Yep.
I don't care who you're voting for, but good luck.
Yep.
Whatever the outcome is,
Yep.
Best of luck to you. That's next week, isn't it?
Yeah, the 5th.
Or when is it? The 5th? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be watching from afar.
Yeah, we'll be watching the news. Yeah. The best news. Yeah, it's going to be there, and we're going to be watching it.
We'll be watching it. We got the best TVs.
Yep. Okay, so but the thing here, lightning round, if you do have a question, go ahead and drop it in here. We're going to start with everything that comes in after Doug's notice here of the lightning round. So if you've got any questions at all, drop them in here. And
that's so aesthetically pleasing. Here. Look at that, Doug.
It is his lightning round there.
Lightning round.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Number one. Question, wouldn't it be more beneficial to post 3-minute long form because of revenue rather than shorts? Yeah, that's the big question, right? But this is another one of those things where it's more about, where your viewers are at and what you're trying to do with the channel and, things like that. Some people, when they upload videos, they don't care as much about the revenue as they care about just getting views on the content. And with that, also with the longer form, content, or really any content that you upload into shorts, if you get enough views on it, then it can also make, a lot of money too. So because of that, there's where the benefits are when it comes to that longer content over in shorts. But I think a lot of it is going to end up being, people repurposing content, a lot of things where, people are just, just talking to the camera and just kind of talking and stuff like that, or just showing stuff. I think a lot of it is going to, a lot of that type of content is going to thrive. And of course, longer form, just general audience type of content, as always, we'll do well over there. But if you're but for the content creators that don't upload just for the revenue, for them, then it also makes a lot of sense to just reach more people over there too.
Savvy says, "Will you and T shave your beards?" Just kidding.
Dude, if you use that app. So there's an app. No. Snapchat has a filter to where you basically, you just put it on yourself and it's a little line and it takes your beard away. Yeah. Holy cow. Yeah. Really? No, I'm not shaving my beard anytime soon.
I shaved completely bald during when the world shut down.
That reminds me of what was it? The Other Guys, where dude's on the sofa and he's like.
That was my.
Oh, okay. That's why it reminded me of that, I guess.
It's
okay.
Like shaved it all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my significant other was like, "Can you just shave sometime?" Because I had like the world shut down. Like I had the Walking Dead beard going on.
Yeah.
During that particular time. Here's how I shaved. I completely bald. Head, mustache, no goatee, nothing. Baby face. Some of you remember I did a live stream. You can probably still see it. I think it's still on my channel. There's one stream. I'm completely shaved. And I walked out. She didn't even notice.
Huh.
An entire day went by. And I'm like, "Did you notice anything?" And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Really? You didn't notice anything at all?"
Couldn't tell.
Couldn't tell. Yeah. I had to let her know that I had shaved.
It's love right there.
Yeah. Same woman. The same woman is the one who told me that I got my eyebrows shaved off.
Huh.
I didn't even know when I left the barber. Didn't even notice.
Great.
I walked in. She's like, "They shaved your eyebrows off." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I ran to the mirror and I was like, "Oh my God." Yeah.
Salon Guy says, "Nick, here's a more general question. I just started using the remix feature on shorts with my own videos, and I feel it's an amazing tool to repurpose." Thoughts? Yeah, it can actually be, it can definitely be used for that. It can definitely, as long as people respond well to those, they follow the same rules. So if you remix a certain video from your own channel or any other channel and people respond well to it, then it can get a lot of views like anything else.
Yeah.
Flash in Your Pants says, "Hey, D."
Hey, Ed.
Mooner from Miami says, "We're going to get paid as a short or a long video for 3-minute videos?" Question. You're going to get paid as a short. So if it goes, well, for the views that come from the shorts feed, you're going to get paid as a short. If the views come from recommendation features or something like that, then you'll still get paid there if somebody's watching it not in the shorts feed. Great question. What is the better for growth, regular short or live short? Really comes down to, what it is that you're offering and things like that. So, both, if you have an awesome, video that's a short, then in that case, if it ends up getting a lot of views, that can, continue just bringing you views over a long period of time. Whereas the live regular, short, if it's live, that is going to end up being good pretty much while it's live, right? And it's going to fade out from there. Okay, we did the remix question. I'm doing competitor targeting. How can I show up as suggested under a channel with much more subs than me? I target specific channels and end up showing up under other channels instead. So here's the thing. When it comes to suggested videos, you're going to end up showing up in a lot of places when it comes to suggested videos. In terms of showing up under channels that have much more subscribers than you, that's kind of like the holy grail, and that's something that a lot of content creators try to do. But keep in mind, in order for that to happen, your videos have to be extremely high response, because those larger channels probably are also, if they're getting a lot of views, they're probably also high response content, which means that there's probably other high response content that's being recommended next to them. But keep in mind, just like search results, how we did that demonstration earlier in terms terms of telling you the different search results and, you know, pulling it up in real time and saying like, read the title, all that stuff. Like just like search results, you know, the suggested results are also catered to the viewer as well. And viewers can even sort based on their preference of what it is that's showing up next as suggested. So the thing that we used to do to try to do that is that we would, you know, connect our videos to those videos in some way. So this isn't something that you necessarily do now, but what we used to do is we would say like, okay, this particular video is doing well, so let's make something that is topically similar, and then let's create a playlist, drive people into that playlist and put our video in there, put their video in there, maybe put a couple more of our videos, a couple more of their videos, or maybe some other videos that are topically related in there, and then try to get people to watch them back to back, and then that starts telling YouTube, somebody watches this video and they watch this video, and it starts making that connection over time, and then that can help start getting content recommended next to each other. That's something that we used to do, but in terms of, you know, these days, because everything is so customized, it's just not as, you know, effective as it used to be.
Next.
Question, Scratch and Spoon Lotto says, question, my channel's been killing it with vertical live streams. What can I do to gain the same progress with my long form videos? It's going to come down to you learning how to make good quality long videos and learning how to get people to click on those long videos. That's it. And there's tons of nuance in that, so it's not really that's it, but that's what it takes. So, you know, one of the things when it comes to vertical content is when you, and especially live streams, is with vertical content in general, when somebody's sitting there and they're on shorts and they're just swiping, it pops up and bam, there you are. Right? So you only have to work on one thing when it comes to that, which is be engaging in video content so that when it shows up, you're there and people are enjoying that content. Same exact thing with live streams, but the difference with vertical live streams is while you're live, they might get a little bit extra love because YouTube understands the importance of a live stream and the importance of, you know, putting it in front of people while it's live, right? Because it's a live stream. So, so because of that, you know, you have two things working in your favor there. When it comes to long form content, there's a huge difference. So when it comes to long form content, not only do you have to make the videos that people will enjoy and be satisfied with and they'll watch for longer periods of time, but you engage with, but you also have to be able to come up with really good topics for those videos that are of interest to, you know, the people that you're trying to reach. And you also have to be able to package them up through the thumbnail and title in a way that helps people identify that the content's about something they might care about, and then it's compelling enough that they'll end up clicking on the video. So it's like a whole other set of skills that you need for the long form content that you don't need when it comes to the vertical content that just shows up in somebody's feed. So because of that, you have to go through that process of learning the skills. So what you want to do is, one, you want to get really good at coming up with video topics. That creativefuel.ai tool that I was talking about before, that's a great way to do that, because in addition to looking at your channel and seeing what's going on there, you can actually go to other channels and you can say like, hey, this is a pretty cool idea. Is there a way that I can kind of remix this into an idea for what it is that I'm doing? So you can look for high performing content there from the idea perspective in terms of topically and how they're actually packaging the content as well. And again, that's called creativefuel.ai. But basically with that will, you know, help on the idea side. Plus just knowing your audience and what they want from you. That's also, you know, a great place to start. And then from there, you need to watch videos and articles and learn everything you can about photography and framing concepts within photography, so you know where to position things. You need to watch and read information about design, so you can just get some basic design principles in place, so that you make sure that when you put something together, that, you know, when somebody sees your thumbnail, their eyes go to very specific things and they go to those things in a very specific order. You also want to watch videos on and read information on copywriting as well. That will help you, you know, write better titles. Again, that Creative Fuel tool will help you with that too, but it helps you, you know, write better titles as well by learning that information. And then from there, you got to start working on the actual video content, which is the hardest part of that whole equation, learning how to get people to watch long enough that it becomes competitive within YouTube's system. So that's the bigger challenge. So here, I have a Bible audiobook channel. How can I bring more viewers even though I have finished the entire Bible? Start at 0 again. Start in Genesis.
Okay.
In the beginning.
Okay.
Start there.
Yeah, so you're going to hate me for saying this, but as a Christian, you have to forgive me. Okay, so here, I was looking at... I gotcha. Here, I was looking at your channel, and you're literally reading the Bibles. The Bible, Revelation, chapter 15 and 16, etc. Each video. People are not responding to this, and you've been doing this for you've been doing this for years. and you're getting literally like 5 views, 2 views, 6 views in like years. Okay. You've already done it. You've already read the Bible. Moving forward, I want you to rethink why people might be looking for help, might be looking for, think about, okay, you've read the Bible, you've already done it. You could do it again, and you might have a different response, or maybe not. You might just spend a whole lot of time doing the same thing with the same response. But think about why people might turn to the Bible in the first place. Think about why people might be looking for a new path. And craft your videos around. Look, you've read the Bible, you obviously know it. So think about, I'm going to look for a particular verse of the Bible or a particular lesson, and I'm going to frame it around something. So maybe somebody's going to look for something like, am I going to make it? Or I feel like giving up. Think about what people are going to think about, right?
Things
like,
that would lead them into verses.
Think that would lead, think about how people end up where you want them to be. Would you be reading the Bible? And think about, like, you know, people might say, like, you know, I feel like giving up. Am I going to make it? Is our relationship going to make it? Or whatever people might ask, and then try to find verses that would help answer that question. And then target your search for that. So see how people are doing it, right?
Okay, right now. So just some context into what Dee's saying here is I looked for motivational Bible verses, which is things.
Biblical motivation.
Yep, biblical motivation. I put motivational Bible verses, and that's something people are looking for. And along this same stem, I also have motivational Bible verses for working out, motivational Bible verses to keep you going when you want to quit, motivational Bible verses for youth, motivational Bible verses in Hindi, a bunch of different language things here, encouraging Bible verses, positive Bible verse affirmations.
Right. Bible verses that will transform your life.
Inspirational Bible verses about never giving up, encouraging Bible verses for hard times, encouraging Bible verses for sleep. And this is just one search, right? So the idea that he's trying to express is go to YouTube search bar, start typing in things like that people are looking for, and start making your verses around that because people are actively looking for that content.
Right.
And then that way you can just be one of the people that show up there for that content, and then hopefully that should improve things
Looking
for you.
at your channel, you've been making videos reading the Bible, and people are not responding to it. That means you have to try something different if you want to continue the channel. So think about,
if you just want to get more views, you can still continue the channel.
Right,
But if you want to get more,
if you want to get more views, if you want to grow the channel, you have to think about because what you've done so far is you've made videos that you've wanted to make and put on the channel, which is you've read the Bible. Now you've already done that. Now start thinking about, what does the audience need? What does the audience want? What is the audience looking for? And think about how you can take those verses, how you can take those lessons and frame them around things that people are actually looking for to help people. That's what I would do moving forward.
Oh, the latest video was 3 years ago.
The latest video was 3 years ago?
Hold on, unless I'm overlooking something here. Yeah, so latest video according to YouTube here is 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was.
And I mean, if we're looking at the same channel here, so it's got 623 videos, 230 subscribers. Yeah, the word. Yeah, this is it.
Okay.
So yeah, so another thing too is along those same lines. I mean, one, start being more active. And the reason that you want to start being more active is because YouTube does consider that. So if you have like a super high performing video, then it'll keep going. But even those will taper out over time. So because of that, you do want to be, just publishing content sometimes at least to your YouTube channel. But 3 years is definitely too much of a gap.
I would go Bible motivation.
Yeah. Just Bible things like that. It can be, motivational. It can be, Bible verses for sleep. It can be like all types of different things. But you can also go through, like, even though this content's already on YouTube, like, unless you just want to keep this playlist on the Bible, Revelation chapter 1, and 2, you can keep all that if you want to, but you could also go and modify some of these titles too if you want, see if you got a different response. But before you do that, though, I would check to see if you're even getting, many impressions on these anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't uploaded in 3 years.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so step one, start uploading again.
Yeah, I don't know. I might even consider a new channel.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is they're going to watch one video. Let's say you start getting,
as long as it's still Bible related, they should be all right.
Well, I'm thinking related videos, like recommending the next, you come in, you're watching this motivation video, and the next video YouTube recommends is, the Bible, Luke chapter 11 and 12. I'm just thinking
if they're already in there as a Bible person, though, it might
read it.
It might hit.
Yeah. Okay. All right, there we go. We've said a lot about that. Good
so
luck.
next up, DIY microbiology, better video background, lower voice quality versus better voice quality, lower video background. Definitely prioritize voice quality. Audio is half of the video experience, and if somebody comes in and the audio is garbage, then in that particular case, they're going to be more likely to leave than if the audio isn't good, then they're going to be more likely to leave than if the video isn't good, right? So because of that, you want to make sure that they can clearly hear, but both of them are important. So I wouldn't look at it as like an either or. I would focus on trying to improve both if you can, because both of them are important, because both of them are two halves of the video experience. Can it be possible for me to have a faking Google Apps and they stole my money? I'm not sure what that is in reference
Say that
to.
again?
Says, can it be possible for me to have a spam faking the Google Apps and they stole my money? So basically, it seems like maybe they signed up for an app or something, and then their money got taken. I'm not sure, like a Google app. I'm not sure. See here, audio beats video, 3 words, make shorts, I grew mine as you see. Okay, I think we're good on questions. Oh, here we go. So English Fun Zone says 91.7% not subscribed watching, but only 8.3% per subscribe watch time. What's up with that? So if you want to increase your subscriber conversion, make sure that you are inviting people to subscribe, because that does work. Some people are not comfortable doing that, or they think that like if you do that, it's going to turn people off. But all it is a reminder. If they're enjoying what it is that you're doing, you've got 10,000 subscribers on your channel. People enjoy what you do. So because of that, just make sure that you do remind people to subscribe and give them a reason. So the way that you set up a subscribe call to action is not by saying, hey, make sure you subscribe. It is by saying, hey, if you want to learn, if you want to get fluent in English, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I publish videos about, that'll help you every Wednesday, or, whatever your schedule, every week, whatever the thing is. But basically front load it with the reason. And the reason you want to do that is because whatever the content is, you're in the content, and then they're still listening. And then you're like, oh, hey, by the way, if you're wanting to become fluent in English, which is something they want, then in that case, they're still paying attention, and then you drop the subscribe on them, right? But if you start saying, you're like, hey, subscribe and blah, blah, and you put that first, then in that particular case, they know you're kind of working on that call to action, and they won't be as in tune, but it's still better than nothing if you're trying to increase that conversion. Because by simply saying the words in your video to subscribe, regardless of which way you do it, all you're doing is nudging people, and you're reminding them, because if they're watching the video, they're enjoying the video and all that stuff, that's what they're focused on. They're not thinking about, oh, I got to make sure I subscribe here. They're just watching the video and enjoying it. And the better your content is, the more important that is, right? If you're trying to increase that conversion.
You're right.
So because of that, if you want to do that, I would experiment. So you can use, this is a great use case of the grouping tool inside of YouTube Analytics. So one thing that you can do, and you got to do this across a lot of videos, because if you have a video that does, exceptionally well, or one video that converts well, then it can kind of distort things a little bit. But the use case here is to where you say, okay, for the next, we'll just say 10 videos, I'm going to ask people to subscribe around this part of my video, and I'm going to say it in this way. And then for these other 10 videos, I'm going to ask people to subscribe in this way, and I'm going to do it around this part of the video. And then in that case, you're going to get information based on, which stack that people responded to best on the subscribe, which one converted better for you. And then from there, you can say, okay, well, was it the placement, or was it the way that I said it? And then you can swap placements, but say the same thing, and then see which one people respond to there. And then by doing that and using the grouping feature to see as the content set which one people respond to better, that'll start to give you some insights there as well. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, Ed? He says he's also saying it to me.
Got a super chat? Her heel review. I just
see
put it on the
here.
screen.
Her heel review. Thanks for the super chat. Says, what info should I send to brands to get sponsors? First, just send them an email, let them know that you're there and you make the type of content that you do. Let them know that you're just wanting to, connect, and, let them know that you're there in the event that they do any type of influencer marketing or anything like that, that you're available. That is a great place to start. You can also do things like creating a media kit, and with that media kit, you include your channel stats, you include your demographics, plus you can put a little blurb in there about, what it is that you are doing, why you're doing it, that sort of thing. But just try to make it concise, because these people get, a lot of this type of, outreach. But basically, put your demographics in there, put your channel information in terms of average view counts, things like that, and then put the blurb in there about why it is that you do what you do. Also let them know who your target viewer is. And then by doing that, they're going to quickly be able to identify, like, hey, is this person a good fit for what it is that we're doing? And then if they are doing something and then they find your content, you know, in your audience and all that stuff, and they check out your channel and they see everything is kind of, you know, good for what it is that they're doing from the brand perspective, then in that case, you know, if they're interested, then they'll reach out to you at that time. Does doing shorts ruin my long form content? Is pristine gameplay walkthroughs? No, it does not. They are two different experiences for people, and they're two different ways that people find your content. And one doesn't necessarily impact the other outside of people, you know, going to your channel page and also hitting your shorts from there, or people in your short coming from the feed and then clicking on related video and then kind of going in that way. So it's just two different experiences that you get to meet your viewer where they are there. Back in the day when they first launched it, it was a bit messy, but these days they have all that stuff figured out. Is YouTube inline video player can hurt RPM? If you mean the embedded video player, so embedded videos, they actually, as long as this is still the same, embedded videos don't actually get the you actually don't get credited for that, because it's so easy to kind of game that in terms of like fake views and stuff. Let's see here. Still looking for the Holy Grail. Question: Shorts are for the Shorts are for lazy creators. You will not get monetized. Put in the hard work and make long form. Is this accurate? No, it's not. So shorts are for creators that want to reach people that are consuming content in the short shelf. It doesn't mean that somebody's lazy because they're making YouTube shorts. In some cases, shorts take longer to make than long form content, depending on what it is that you're doing for your shorts.
It could be lazy creators who are thinking that that's going to be the way.
Sure.
It could be there.
Yeah.
But that's, your statement is, that's not a blanket statement.
Yeah. So some people do it because they're not lazy, and you know, like if you're making long form content and you're like, oh man, I just don't want to do, you know, shorts, then in that case, it's either one, not a good fit, or you just don't want to put the energy out to do it. Right. If it comes to, you know, somebody just making YouTube shorts, it's just a choice. Some people love making vertical content. I'm not a huge fan of it, but some people absolutely love making vertical content. Zach King loves it.
Zach King, perfect example, right?
So some people love making long form content, and they absolutely hate YouTube shorts. So it just comes down to preference and all that, and I wouldn't say that it's lazy. One thing that I do think is, or that can be lazy, is like D said, is people being like, okay, I'm just going to do that because it's the easiest. Then in that case, you know, that is being a little bit, you know, being a little bit lazy. But in some cases, it's also strategic. So like, for example, if you're a new content creator, short form or just vertical content in general is amazing. And the reason it's amazing is because one of the hardest parts of being a new content creator is motivation to keep going. So in order to motivate you to keep going, you have to really love making content, or you have to be getting results from the content, or you have to have a super clear goal on what it is that you're doing in order to just be motivated for no reason, right? Like if things aren't going well. But when it comes to the short form content, the win there for new content creators is, one, you don't spend as much time usually making, you know, that short form content. Two is, because of the nature of vertical content on all the platforms, it just shows up, right? So it requires less to get views and to get activity. And if you're a new content creator, that activity can be the thing that keeps you going, because it shows you that you're making progress. It shows you that people are responding, because you'll start getting subscribers. You'll start having people interacting with the content and all of that, to where it might be more difficult on the long form content to get people to click, come up with the good video ideas and things like that. Where with the YouTube Shorts, it's different there. It's a great starting point to just get your feet wet, start experiencing making content, and starting to kind of get the whole thing going. So from a strategic standpoint, YouTube Shorts is great for for people that are getting started, because it kind of removes all of those barriers. Yeah. And just for reference too, this might be what Dee was getting ready to say. Yeah, go ahead, Dee.
I was just going to say, and when you think about monetization, don't always think about YouTube monetization.
Right. In terms of ad revenue.
In terms of ad revenue, right. So Daniel Battelle saying, I just signed a 6-figure sponsorship deal based almost entirely on shorts. Don't discount shorts.
Yep.
So he brought so much awareness to a particular product that he was able to lock down a very lucrative sponsorship deal with them. Doing an entire short series.
Yep, and shout out to DaVinci Resolve as well, on behalf of Daniel Battelle.
Yeah. I was thinking about...
Which is a free video editing software, by the way. Daniel's a homie. So DaVinci Resolve is a free editing software that content creators can use without spending any money. So if you are looking for a free video editing software, make sure that you check out DaVinci Resolve. Shout out to Daniel Battelle.
I blew that when I said they blew... No, Filmora blew it.
Yeah, Filmora,
Filmora blew it with Daniel.
Yeah.
DaVinci Resolve, yeah, good for you. So
Yep.
Daniel, I don't know if you were here before, but we were basically doing clips for people, telling them that they were right. So here's my clip for DaVinci Resolve. Listen, nobody teaches video editing like Daniel Battelle. And if you've got Daniel Battelle teaching his audience and teaching the world how to use DaVinci Resolve, you're in good hands.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
Yep.
I put Nick's reputation on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. There we go. Shout out to DaVinci Resolve. Yep.
And Jerry's
That's
wife.
the side of brand deals that
Yeah.
brands don't think about,
Yeah.
right? So just by working with Daniel, we got to have a little quick fun moment on DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah. And
right?
I'm just going to throw Filmora under the bus a little bit.
Yeah. Don't use Filmora.
Don't
use DaVinci
Filmora.
Resolve.
Don't use Filmora.
Yep.
Use DaVinci Resolve.
Yep. And you got to pay
There
for
you
Filmora.
go.
Yep.
There you
use
go.
DaVinci Resolve.
There
And
you go.
all Blackmagic stuff in general. Use it because Daniel Battelle uses it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And don't use Filmora.
Yeah.
Moral, listen, if you learn nothing else today, don't use Filmora.
Yep.
They dropped the ball. They changed the pricing stuff.
All kinds of
They
just
didn't
shady
honor their stuff, and they come
do
back.
not
Daniel
use
had to
them.
make a video about it, and
Yep.
it went viral. It
Yep.
was a whole thing.
It was
a whole thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Use DaVinci Resolve.
Yep.
And go subscribe to Daniel and learn how to use it.
Yep.
There you go.
Not only will he show you how to use it, like a base level, but he shows you all these awesome like effects you can do and
Yeah.
like all the best ways
What
that you can
we're
use
trying
DaVinci
to
Resolve.
say is we're also looking for a 6-figure deal from DaVinci Resolve. No,
No, we're not. We're not. But use it because Daniel uses it.
no, yeah. There you go. Clip that.
Yep,
Send it
clip
to
that.
DaVinci
Send
Resolve,
that to DaVinci
Daniel.
Resolve. Yeah,
Yeah.
on behalf of Daniel Battelle.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
On behalf of Daniel,
Yep.
he's so good.
Yep.
He's able to push their brand recognition into
other
people.
channels.
He injects
Other live streams.
He injects other live streams with their brand.
Yep.
There you go. That's
Yep.
how it works.
It is. Yep.
There you go.
So on that note, I do want to remind you, if you are a new content creator, actually first I'm going to remind you to make sure that if you haven't yet, make sure that if you are somebody that answers a lot of repetitive comments on your phone and you have an iPhone or a tablet or an iPad, make sure that you do check out my Creator Keyboard app. It is pinned at the very top of the chat. So make sure that you do go and check that out. It's going to save you a ton of time on answering repetitive comments. But if you are a new content creator and you are, kind of hitting those walls right now and you're like, man, I wish I could, kind of get past this because I want more views and I want, everything to work out. Just remember that YouTube is a learning process, just like anything else that you're going to do. Just like playing an instrument, sport, getting a new job, like anything that you do, it all comes with a learning curve. YouTube is the same exact way. So if you're hitting those walls, it means that you have more skills to develop around doing the thing. And it means that there's more to learn about your audience, what it is that you're doing, how the platform works, like all of those things. So just make sure that you do focus hard on building the skills because the skills themselves are going to help you see a lot of the other stuff that you need to know. So focus really hard on building the skill sets around doing the YouTube thing, making good videos, writing titles, making good thumbnails and all that.
And not using Filmora.
And not using Filmora. And that's how you get there. So, so thank you so much for hanging out. Have a great rest of your weekend. Check out the video description. We have a bunch of helpful tools and resources for you down there. D, great stream as always.
Yep, too bad Filmora.
Have a great rest of your weekend because Halloween is coming up before we see you.
Right.
Also have a safe and super fun Halloween also for those of you that are going to go out trick-or-treating and go to Halloween parties and all that stuff. Have a great time and we'll see you next time.
I'm going to go dressed up as a Filmora employee who lost Daniel Battelle.
So I'll beat up.
I'm going to be the
I'll beat up.
saddest looking employee that you've ever seen.
Yeah, love it. Love it. All right. And I'll go as the DaVinci Resolve guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With me on a leash.
Yeah, with you on a leash.
With me on a leash.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
and I'll
good.
be on all fours, kind of walking around.
That's
Yeah,
good.
there you go. Halloween. Happy Halloween,
Happy
everybody.
Halloween. Yep. We'll see you next time.
Yep.